different commentator with us. It's going to be a young Caleb Yarbrough. Last week he played Affinity with us.
Sure did.
He's going to be doing some commentary on some modern matches. This week we're going to have a little bit of a little less orthodox decks being showed off this time. Right now we're showing off tokens. Those aren't the matchup. Are we showing off tokens? We're not live right now. You can't see what we see right now. I'm sorry, guys. Anyways, Caleb, you want to say hi to people?
Hello. I am. On the previous stream, I was hammered by the commentators a little bit for my, I thought, relatively optimal Affinity play, but we'll see how this stream goes.
Okay, then. So we're going to start off with Sebastian on Esper Mentor versus Michael on Mono White Taxes. So, no, to answer the first question, this is not Legacy. This is Modern. They just didn't realize the format. So, I am joking, of course. So, Michael's going to be trying to do Leonin Arbiter, Thalia things with, like, Aven Mind, Sensor, Ghost Quarter, Tectonic Edge, and Sebastian's trying to do something with his deck. He's running Mentors and Zealous Persecutions in the main, Snapcasters for value, and then some other things that I'm not entirely certain on. So, we'll...
He's also running a Delve package with, I believe, Thought Scour and definitely the Tasker and Grimag Dingler, two of each.
Okay, so he has a lot of stuff going on in it. Let's see. Let's go and wait for the ad to go away. No one's currently watching, but I'm being sad. Who you rooting for in this matchup? Who you think's favor? You think he wins favor?
I would guess it'd be Esper Mentor.
Okay.
I mean, Mentor's pretty good in the creature matchups, especially when your opponent doesn't have that much removal, and Sebastian is packing quite a bit of removal.
Yeah.
And if there's any, if there are a few matchups where main deck Zealous Persecution is pretty good, and this is definitely one of them.
Okay then. So, did we see the die roll? I don't believe I've ever seen the die roll happen.
That's a shame.
I'm just gonna we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait to see who's on the play.
If I had to bet, I would bet Michael on the play, but we'll see.
Just baseless bet on that?
Yes.
Okay then. I'll bet on Sebastian.
I think I just won the bet.
I think you did. I think Sebastian is just looking at his deck going, man, I made a mistake.
Sebastian cannot seem to ever keep a hand.
No, he's not very good at it. Michael's also really bad at having luck. He just doesn't have it. It's non-existent to him. So...
I mean, he did keep his 7. So,
he kept his 7.
At least there's that. But it's probably a very bad 7. He probably shouldn't have kept it. But we'll see.
Just hammering him. Nothing to base that on.
Yeah, I can't see much of it. So
I
see a Ghost Quarter.
A Ghost Quarter.
Splicer.
A Horizon Canopy, Blade Splicer, and Flicker Wisp. I think I see a Leonin Arbiter. Yeah, I see a Leonin Arbiter, a Path to Exile.
Pretty decent hand.
Yeah, so he has a decent little bit of disruption.
Is that a Vial? Nice.
That's Vial. That's actually pretty good.
That turns into a great hand.
Also, Sebastian's hand has 2 lands, Jace Friend's Prodigy, Spell Snare, and a couple other cards I can't make out right off. So...
fetching for a Godless Shrine. So I guess we're going to see a hand disruption?
I would imagine so. I can't think of anything else that he would be playing on turn 1 with what he has, and cast an Inquisition. Probably going to take that Leonin Arbiter.
Yeah, it's an interesting hand.
Like it's either
there could be arguments for any of these cards. I don't know if he wants to protect a Mentor in his hand. I can't quite make out what's in his hand, but if he wants to go off with Mentor anytime soon, then taking the path might be advisable.
Yeah. I personally take taking Leonin Arbiter and Blade Splicer, but there is an argument for taking the path. I think the only thing that does have an argument for it right now is the Flicker Wisp, and Sebastian's going for taking the Blade Splicer, which kind of leans to him not having a clean answer to the Blade Splicer plus tokens.
It also makes Flicker Wisp a lot worse.
Yep.
I imagine we'll see Canopy Arbiter.
Yeah. There's no... Sebastian's tapped out. Might as well go ahead and throw it down there. even though you have the Vial on 2 next turn. Okay. So he's going to
Discarding
kill.
Fatal Push. He must have quite a bit of removal.
Yeah. I imagine he was planning on just taking that Path Exile, then playing the Mentor the next turn, so that we have a safe Mentor, but Michael was able to pick up the other Path Exile.
Throws a little wrench in Sebastian's plans here.
I believe that Sebastian was asking about what he had seen. Those were the things he had seen.
Not surprising to start digging for a new plan when you can't use your Mentor yet.
Yeah. Small point. If Michael had tapped his 8th Vial at end of turn, it might have bluffed Sebastian into cracking his fetch land. Even though he has nothing, Sebastian would probably crack his fetch land in response because he doesn't want to get blown out by another Leonine Arbiter.
Yeah, when Sebastian's playing the deck, he bluffs with Aether Vial even when it could provide no possible advantage. But
yeah,
Michael, I guess, being a little less familiar with the deck is less likely to do what might at first seem to be a pointless thing, pointless action. He's shocked on, this is Michael's end step?
Yes.
Yeah, he's shocked, and then he's still holding up something.
Worth noting, you are correct, he doesn't have a Mentor. Forgot he mulliganed his hand. His first hand had Mentor. And now he has Mentor? No, that's a Mentor. Yeah. Bam. Nailed it.
That is how that works.
Okay, so that's neat. He used the Flicker Wisp to trigger his Revolt, and then use the Fatal Push.
He'd fetch that turn regardless.
Well, yeah.
But it would have been very amusing if he hadn't fetched, and the Flicker Wisp had enabled the push to remove it.
Okay. Yep. All right. So Sebastian has out the Jace Twin Prodigy, threatening to flip next turn and threatening to get a lot of value if it's able to start going. And I believe that Michael's probably going to try to answer it with that path in his hand, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's interesting if you expect Jace to be the most pressing threat here.
Yeah.
I mean, given how few cards Sebastian has in hand, you're probably not as afraid of a Mentor as you might otherwise be.
Yeah.
So maybe you're more likely to take the Jace so that Sebastian can't sculpt his small hand into a better one.
Yeah. All right. So Michael's happened to read Jace Twin Prodigy. For those who don't know, it upticks by 1. I believe, is it 1 or 2?
It's 1.
It's 1. To give one creature -2/-0 into your next turn. It -3s to give a target instant or sorcery in your graveyard flashback until end of turn. And it's -8 is you get an emblem that says whenever you cast a spell, mill target player for 5. Okay, it's not quite flashback. You may cast it from your graveyard until end of turn. If you do, it's exiled. Which means that you can pay alternative costs.
Which is not usually very relevant in this format, but in Legacy or Vintage, sometimes it can enable holding up a Force of Will.
Yeah. So it looks like in response to activation, Michael pathed the Jace, which I think is weird timing. I would prefer just to see him do that before passing, because now Sebastian gets an additional draw, and that just kind of feels like a point that he shouldn't be able to have.
I didn't catch it. Did he do it in response to the activation?
In response to activation.
Okay.
So it was before Sebastian drew his card.
I would also imagine that you would let him draw and discard, and then in response to the transform trigger, you would pass
it's all one single. It's all one single thing.
The transform trigger is not something you can respond to.
No, because it's all part of the same ability.
That makes sense.
Draw a card, discard a card, then if you have, flip. So.
What is the last card? Do we know about the last card in Michael's hand right now?
It's a displacer. No, a displacer. Eldrazi displacer.
Gotcha.
And now it looks like a Ghost Quarter.
So I would imagine we're putting the displacer in play.
I would have to imagine as such, but
I don't see a big reason not to. And we see that Zealous Persecution, not great right at the moment, but pretty good against Thalia's.
it's not great, but at the same time, it can create an interesting position where if Michael tries to trade off his displacer into it, he gets blown out pretty hard.
Yes. Because whereas he might play around one spell if there's one card in Sebastian's hand, but for the purposes of growing Mentor, Persecution acts like 2 or even 3 spells that's going into combat with the creature.
Yeah. All right. So now what do we do? Like, Sebastian's in a really good spot right now. He has Lingering Souls in his graveyard. He has a Monastery Mentor in play, and all Michael has is a Eldrazi Displacer, different card, and 3 lands with an Aether Vial on 3, and his hand's pretty not great.
If he also had a Blade Splicer, this would start to look a little better for him.
If he had a Blade Slicer, this would be great.
Yeah.
Except for not that great once Sebastian untaps, because that Zealous Persecution would kill it in response to the Flicker.
Yeah, but Michael doesn't know about that, so...
No.
Michael would have some hope.
Michael would have some hope, and then it would be quickly dashed.
Yes. Now we see 3 tokens coming to play.
Yep, and he's just going to get in there for 3. And I imagine Michael's going to eat a token on end step.
Doesn't have much else to do with his mana.
Nope. Okay. Yep.
Makes sense.
Eats a token, untaps.
Monk's the only thing that's going to conceivably trade with his Displacer in combat.
Yeah. If Michael does attack this turn, he is losing his Blade Splicer.
That's true.
I mean, his Eldrazi Displacer. Boy.
I really tripped you up there. I'm sorry.
It's implanted there now. I'm just gonna keep referring to it. So, we'll have to see. Like, it makes sense for Michael to attack, and because like playing around Zealous Persecution specifically is such an oddball card to be played.
Yes.
That it doesn't make sense to do it, and you need to pressure at this point, and you're not realistically trying to block that Mentor.
Sebastian not going for the blowout here.
He's not going for the blowout. I feel like he's going for a greedier line, and he's going to try to use it for a good Alpha Strike, but I like just trying to kill off that Eldrazi Displacer there. Like, if you get that thing off the board, Michael's not doing much else.
Yeah, and I don't see an Alpha Strike actually being successful here.
Yeah, like, I feel like that was a small little misstep. But we'll see.
Against the Displacer, Sebastian will need to draw another spell or 2 to close out this game.
And it looks like he just picked up another fetch land, so his hand is just now a fetch land plus Zealous Persecution. So it's not great for him.
Not great. Are we thinking about an attack here, a big one, or?
Like, I don't think you attack here. I think you just hold back and you try to make some favorable blocks.
Yeah, having not gone for the favorable blocks last turn is looking even worse now.
Because the longer you go without going for that line, then the more of your tokens are just being destroyed by this Eldrazi Displacer. And that's just unnecessary points lost.
Yeah, if Michael end steps takes a Displacer, or displacers a token and then untaps, then Sebastian just doesn't actually have a good multi-block on the Displacer.
Yeah. Alright, so eat the spirit. Simple enough.
Could have wanted to crack a clue instead, but probably better to untap draw. If you hit a land, then you can crack the clue.
Yeah.
And
I think at this point
still be able to activate Displacer.
I think at this point he's trying to make it a board control game, and so instead of drawing the additional card, he'd rather just use the free removal spell.
Yes.
So it makes sense. And Michael's in the tank.
Indeed. Don't see a lot of reason not to attack here.
Like, alright, so he makes an attack. Sebastian should go ahead and, before blockers, do the self-persecution and maybe throw a couple dudes underneath of the boss. If he throws his entire team under it, he's only losing one guy, and the activation of... Even if Michael has path plus activation of Eldrazi Displacer, he's still losing his Displacer.
Yes.
So...
In fact, then Michael doesn't even necessarily need to activate his Displacer.
He doesn't. But if he doesn't activate, then he's not going to be able to kill anything additional. So, like, it makes sense for Sebastian to do this before blockers, do this, have 3 2/2s, 2 2/2s, and a 4/4 against Michael's attacking 2/2. And then just throw all of them underneath of it.
Yep. And we know Michael has Ether Vial in hand and one other card.
Thought-Knot.
Thought-Knot.
Yep.
Yeah, Thought-Knot does not do a ton here.
It does not. Alright, so I'm curious to see what Sebastian's blocks are going to be, since we haven't gotten that far apparently.
If he wanted to conserve his tokens, he could conceivably block with Mentor,
Okay.
force the activation on the Mentor itself.
He could, but it depends on, does he value trying to get the tempo play of just like making Michael waste his entire turn, or does he prefer getting the Eldrazi Displacer off the board?
So it looks like Michael's not going to let him block with Mentor.
Yeah, which is fine. I think now you just double block there, and
Yep.
Michael can only take down one of your tokens.
Yeah, that's a good trade.
Yeah. And imagine he just takes down a monk, unless he's worried about the flyer. Okay. And did Sebastian just pick up another land?
That would not be good.
I can't tell. It looks like a land, but it could also not be a land.
Definitely looks like a magic card.
Observant of you. How very observant. Alright, and now Sebastian's in the tank. There's a lot of tanking in this matchup, apparently.
I don't know if this matchup is specifically particularly difficult to play, but
It seems like one of those matchups that there's a lot of complicated on-board things. Combat gets weird, prowess makes things hard to evaluate, and Sebastian's taking a Thoughtseize that puts him down 5 but gets him a token and allows him to get in there for 3 if he chooses to.
and he actually traded for a card here, which is not something you'd normally expect Thoughtseize to end up doing.
So like
There's not many cards Michael could have had there that would have
not been played by this point.
not been played. Yeah.
Alright, so now let's see what Michael picks up. Did not make it out very clearly. It's fine though. We'll see soon. His hand is Plains and one unknown that I couldn't make out.
I think it might have been a Thalia, but I'm not sure. Thalia is not great here.
Yeah, it's a little past the point of Thalia being relevant.
Yeah, we were just hearing him say that he's a little past the mana denial plan at this point.
He didn't get to take the early carry away of the game that sometimes Texas can, and now he's trying to have to go through the combat and the tricky parts of this matchup, which is when Sebastian starts to get favored, even though Sebastian's at 5 life.
And potentially with another blank in hand.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It'd be great if it was another Thoughtseize.
I think the thing he most wants to draw here is just a cantrip.
A cantrip would be good.
With this much mana, cantrips are just the best draw.
Yeah.
maybe another Thoughtseize would be almost risky to cast. Going to 3
It would be very
puts
risky.
you dead to more things than you might want.
Okay, he's casting a delve spell. So I imagine we're gonna see a big fish here. Big fish or a Tasker.
One or the other. Certainly, he'd rather it be a Tasker.
Yeah, Tasker at this point is just so much value, but I believe I heard him say exiled 6 cards, which leads me to believe he's casting Big Fish. Nope, that's a Tasker. Never mind then. I was just completely wrong. And his graveyard is Fatal Push.
He did not exile a lot of spells. It's like
not.
he's not particularly concerned about which spell he gets back at this point,
Yeah.
which may or may not be correct.
I prefer exiling as many spells as possible if you're
Yeah.
going in the Tasker plan, just for the point of limiting the amount of choices Michael has to give you. Just adds a lot of points. And you can, I guess there is also like he's leaving cards for like future draw and Snapcaster mages, but I wouldn't be that worried about that right now. You have plenty of value off of it, even with just a few cards.
Yeah, not a lot of reason to activate Tasker right now.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to cast anything you get back thanks to Thalia. And at this point, I'd prefer just pass. You don't have a lot of great attacks. You could attack with Spirit, and that's probably fine. But aside from that,
Actually, I don't see a lot of reason not to attack with Spirit.
yeah, I don't.
I mean, it doesn't get ambushed by anything.
Yeah, and the only thing that he could possibly put in the blocks in the air or attacks in the air can just remove the Spirit anyways in the form of
Yes.
Flicker Wisp.
So Michael did pick up a Blade Splicer.
That card is pretty decent.
Doesn't really do a lot here.
No. It's a little too late for it to be really good because
Yeah.
that Tasker is flowing and he's getting a Thoughtseize back. And at this point, he does not want to fire off that Thoughtseize. It's way too risky. So he essentially
It's very unlikely to do anything.
Yeah.
Other than make a monk.
Makes a monk, but also puts him down to range of dying to one attack from a Flicker Wisp, which is not what you want to be in right now.
Yes.
And he's just going to Sorcery Speed activate that Tasker, hoping to get something relevant back here. He does put Lingering Souls in the graveyard, but he cannot cast it thanks to Thalia being in play.
So Michael could give back the Lingering Souls if he's just not planning on playing this game for much longer because he knows he's losing the long game.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think that's not great either.
Yeah, Collective Brutality is probably worse.
Collective Brutality is just really inefficient with Thalia in play, but
yeah. I mean, he does put Sebastian to 6 potentially.
He also he has the Opt at the front of his hand because right now Opt isn't that great. It's 2 mana to draw 1.
And make a monk.
And make a monk. But at the same time, like comparatively to all the other options, I think that's probably the weakest. Unless he wants to just go for a tempo play of giving him a card he can't cast this turn. But I don't think he's trying to play the tempo game because right now Sebastian's winning that.
I mean, Sebastian's winning the game on just about every axis at this point. I don't know what Michael's angle here is, but I doubt trying to grind Sebastian out is really
the way that he wants to go about it. Yeah. And at this point, Sebastian has the option to flashback that Lingering Souls, and there's not very many ways to get punished for it.
Attacking with a Tasker might be a little greedy.
So there is a way that he actually can get punished really hard right now. Because
it can get blocked by 2 first strike creatures.
Yep, it can get blocked by 2 first strike creatures, and then it dies for free.
Yeah.
I think
without a removal spell backup.
I don't believe that he has a removal spell backup. Yeah, I don't like that play.
You'd think he'd be more aware of the Blade Splicer given it's his deck.
You think he would? Maybe he just realized that there's a good possibility that Michael didn't have it up till this point, due to the fact that he would have put it in some turns ago. But at the same time, there's no reason to make an attack that just gets you blown out so hard by the Blade Splicer, because he
Well,
went from like a very far ahead of position to now if this goes through, he's not in a great position.
Not at all. He does, or Michael did draw 2 cards on his last turn, I believe. So
Yeah, there's that too.
Sebastian couldn't really gain a lot of information from his previous play to evaluate what his hand might be.
Yeah.
So the tides have definitely have the potential to have just turned.
Yeah.
Sebastian's definitely still in it.
He's far from being out of the game, but that play hurt a lot, because it now just opens the window from so many draws from Michael, just kind of completely turn the tables now. Well, not turn the tables in the game, I should say.
Yeah, Displacer would close the door very fast.
Oh yeah, Displacer would just straight end the game. Caleb trying to understand the comment. He doesn't know the internet.
I really don't.
Don't ruin the child.
Oh, I think I get the reference, but
I get the reference.
I don't
it's a
think I get
cleaning
the
product.
joke.
All right. So, cutting away from that, now we're back to Sebastian has 2 tokens of Mentor facing down, 2 tokens and a Mentor facing down, a 3/3 first strike, or a 2/1 first strike, a 1/2, and a 1/1. Not the best position for him, considering he's also at 4 life, but he does have a Lingering Souls in his graveyard, which will make 3 tokens. And he's, I guess, just gonna hope to keep playing this like grindy board control game. But
yeah, that's his route to victory here is just to grind out with Mentor.
yeah, you know it'd be a lot better right now if he had a Tasker in play.
Yes, that would be optimal. Yeah, it's really hard for him to line up a favorable block against this Golem token.
Yeah, like
So it's likely just going to be eating bits of his board.
yeah, it's essentially eating 1 creature per turn, and Sebastian does have draws to get him out of this. A Snapcaster Mage on the Zealous Persecution or another. Okay, I like saving this for combat, and because he's not swinging for lethal or anything.
No. He could make some good attacks here, though. This is definitely a good draw.
But
oh, Fatal Push?
why not? The Zealous Persecution does the same thing, though.
Plus. It does the same thing plus more. Plus quite a bit more.
Like, it's actually just, like, infinitely better, but...
Yeah. Is he holding up mana for something else?
I don't know.
This is confusing me.
Oh, man. So, he's attacking him with his Mentor now. It's a 3/3, and he has a 2/2 token going in with it. I would love it if there was another Blade Splicer.
That would be max punished. That is indeed max punished. This is...
Okay, he has a Thought Scour. He has a Thought Scour.
Okay,
it's
okay.
fine. It's fine.
That makes sense. That makes his play, at the very least, make sense. It might have been correct, but I don't know.
I still like the Zealous Persecution.
Yeah. Gotta think that's better. Throwing cards everywhere.
Also, did he not... He did this before blockers, it appears.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, if he's trying to force through damage, but that just lets him get blown out.
He also drew into a white removal spell when he's holding up a black mana, which is kind of awkward for him.
Yeah. Michaels didn't go for trying to remove the Mentor by blocking with, say, Token plus Lieutenant.
Yeah.
Or Inspector. Thraben Inspector, rather.
Alright. So... Is Sebastian going to fetch down super low? Oh, he is.
So now he loses to a Flicker Wisp most of the time.
He loses to a Flicker Wisp. Well, no, he's going to flashback this Lingering Souls.
Oh, that's true, that's true.
So he doesn't straight lose to it. This whole board state's just really weird.
Wait, can he flashback Living Souls here?
Yeah.
Yeah, he removed Thalia.
He removed
so, yeah, he's
Thalia.
good.
He made the Fatal Push line, which did allow him, the Fatal Push allowed him to cast the Thought Scour and the Lingering Souls.
Yeah, that definitely frees up his mana a lot here, but I don't think he needed to be that worried about using this turn's mana that efficiently when Persecution just...
I also prefer saving the Persecution for blocking and not attacking, because you're not the aggressor right now. You are definitely on the defense.
Certainly. Worth noting, Michael has a Shafet Dunes in play, which could potentially enable a very good attack.
Yeah. Instead, he's just going to hold
no
back.
attack at all, which
I suppose
might be correct. It's hard to... It's a little time-consuming to line up all the blocks here.
Like, Sebastian would have to block a majority of the creatures coming in. He have to block the 2 golems, and they would just kill whatever they get blocked by. And if he uses the dunes, then none of his creatures are most likely going to die. And 4 of his creatures have to be blocked at that point. So it feels like a pretty favorable attack for Michael.
Yeah, playing conservatively here is not
not
something I want to see. Would want to see Michael do.
Playing conservatively when your opponent's at 3 life is a little questionable.
At 3 life and favored in the long game.
Yeah.
Cantrip is good.
Yep.
Tried 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom.
I think from this position, Sebastian should win. Like,
he should, though we've seen him do his best not to, with a few less than optimal attacks. Second mentor, though, should probably close the door here.
Yeah, like at this point, he could even cast that Thoughtseize in his hand just to get 2 more tokens, and it would be fine. Or he could save it until the next turn and just have a really good attack. At this point, I think
I'd probably save it until next turn.
He also has the Path to Exile, which is pretty not bad. It's a little insurance for Flicker Wisp or some other thing.
He can actually make some correct attacks with Path back up.
All right, so he's holding back the spirit. He's holding back 2 spirits, and just getting there with 1. So he's just attacking for 4 right now, and most likely, Michael's just gonna block the spirit tokens.
No, he'd have trouble blocking.
Block
tokens.
the mentor tokens.
Yes,
there
the monk
we are.
tokens.
Yeah, the monk tokens. Those ones.
Of the Brian Cobalt variety.
He's played some vintage, that one. You can look at his token and tell.
I mean, was it not in his modern deck? I guess.
I don't know. I don't think it was.
No, he was playing White Taxes, which definitely does not play Mentor.
It might. Who knows? He's a madman. I don't actually know him. He's probably fine. He's probably not a madman at all.
It's hard to be a madman and win an invitational.
That's not true at all. Plenty of madmen have won invitationals, I think.
I mean, that's one assessment.
Yes, it's a correct assessment. It's not.
Interesting.
I have no basis for this speculation.
Sebastian managed to make his monks big enough to
kill the golems in combat, and he went ahead and took that match, and they have 17 minutes left on the timer.
Wow.
So that first game took a little bit of time. I don't think that Michael has a chance of winning the match solely on the fact that I doubt that he can finish up 2 games in 16 minutes.
That's pretty unlikely.
So I feel like at best for Michael right now, he can hope for a draw, and Sebastian's has a pretty good chance of just closing out this next game, because I feel like he just has so much to go for him in this matchup. He's better at controlling the board. He doesn't get super hated out by a lot of what Michael's doing.
Do we have access to their sideboards at the moment?
Do we have access to their sideboards at the moment? Just the one.
Just
All
the
right,
one.
so we're just going to look at just the one. So I believe I saw, if I had to guess, Sebastian's going to bring in the Snapcaster Mage, possibly the Gideon.
And probably the Verdict.
Probably the Verdicts. And there's an argument for Vitality just in the way that it's a removal spell.
It's less than optimal removal spell, given the way you lose the game a lot of time. Is not being able to address the Thalia or not being able to address the Arbiter in time.
Yeah. I imagine that Spell Pierce is going to come out of his deck.
Yes.
And I could see some number of discard spells being cut. And aside from that, I don't see much else that's too awful. Maybe the J Sponge Prodigy, but
It's
if you're
a
going,
little slow, but
it's a little slow, but in the long game, it is really good. So I could see an argument for cutting either the Jace or the discard spells in some number.
it doesn't do a terrible job of slowing down the game.
No. Whoa. Okay. So, looks like that Sebastian's done shuffling up. Michael still might be making a couple of decisions. I made one last change. And he's going to start shuffling up. So, we're going to probably see Michael on the play here. And he's going to try to get some early tempo in to kind of close out the game quickly before we get to the point that we were in that game where Sebastian was able to just overtake it with his better overall creatures.
Oh, we did see he boarded in a Gideon. Michael boarded in a Gideon, so it's going to be a little harder to beat down really fast with the Gideon, but we'll see how he plans to close out these games.
Yeah.
No, Connor, I was not confused. I was just spelling it out just to make sure everyone's on the same page. That we are not expecting that Brian Koval had Mentor in his deck.
All right. So then, let's see if they can keep a hand of 7. Given these two, I doubt either one of them can. But it looks like Michael's hand is actually fine. I think I see 2 lands and a Leonin Arbiter. Yep, Ghost Quarter. 2 Ghost Quarters, Leonin Arbiter, Aether. This looks like almost the exact same hand as last game.
Yeah, it's excellent.
Only slightly better.
And Horizon Canopy for the white source.
Yeah. And turn 1 Aether Vial against a blue deck is always good. So now I believe all we're waiting for is to see if Sebastian's keeping his hand, because there's no way that Michael mulligans this hand.
Sebastian did manage to keep a 7 this time.
Yep, it looks like they both kept a 7, which is going to be good for having a naturally good game, as opposed
and
to
for
just
trying, and for trying to finish a game in the time allotted.
Yeah, time right now is definitely something that they both have to be concerned about. And Sebastian's just going to snap the Fatal Push off on that Leonin Arbiter, which hurts Michael a little bit, but it's to be expected.
Certainly. Michael have a backup Arbiter in his hand?
I
can't quite
don't believe so. Yeah, it looks like he has Flicker Wisp, Blade Splicer, and a land or 2.
The second Ghost Quarter.
Yeah. Okay, it's the Inspector. Is the other card in his hand, it looks like. So it looks like Flicker Wisp, Inspector, Blade Splicer, Ghost Quarter.
If he has Inspector, I'm surprised to see him not put it into play in a turn.
Maybe I was seeing wrong. There's a possibility I was seeing wrong because
it looks like it's a Blade Splicer.
Okay then.
So now we're probably going to see him play the Blade Splicer and next turn hope to Flicker Wisp it.
Also, with how his hand is, I kind of actually like holding the Leonin Arbiter just because he has 2 Ghost Quarters.
And Thalia makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, Thalia makes a lot of sense. Okay, and Sebastian fired off 2 draw spells in response. Makes sense.
Good to get those out of his hand before Thalia resolves.
Yeah, because once Thalia is in play, your cantrips are just rubbish.
If he doesn't find a removal spell for the Thalia, it's going to be a little awkward.
Oh yeah, it's going to hurt him a lot, because his hand has a lot of spells in it. Mentor wants him to be casting as many spells as possible, and you can't cast that many spells when they all cost 1 additional. So...
Although, if his hand is it looks like, I think I saw a path in his hand, but if his hand isn't, it makes a lot of sense to get the Mentor out of his hand so that he can path and then follow it up with a cantrip or 2.
Yeah.
After he removes Thalia.
Now, if Michael were able to draw into another Leonin Arbiter, he would have a really good turn.
Oh, yeah.
But he did not. So, instead, we're just going to see him jamming in for 2. It's free.
And it looks like he's going to be able to blink a Blade Splicer this turn as well.
Yeah, just so then Blade Splicer.
He's going to get quite the board presence, but Sebastian's going to hope to recover that fairly quickly.
He's going to get, if he chooses to go for the Flicker Wisp, which he chose not to, he would have had 12 power in play. 3, 6, 9, 10, 12. Yeah.
He's not likely to get punished for holding up the Flicker Wisp.
No.
Just because the path is going to be pointed at that Thalia.
Yeah.
Fairly quickly.
So Michael making a comment that this is why he needs to play taxes more often, because the lines with that deck, if you've never played it, can be a bit tricky. Because you're just trying to use weird timing on a lot of different spells and try to stifle what your opponent's doing, and further your own board position with some pretty mediocre cards at actually doing things to help you.
Yeah, if you're
Just a friendly reminder, you have 10 minutes left.
just a friendly reminder, guys, you have 10 minutes left.
It's going to happen sooner or later.
Alright.
If you're unfamiliar enough with the deck, then you can actually just miss the key, slightly tricky synergies that make the deck good.
Yeah. It's an archetype that really rewards knowing the deck, which is always nice to play for a long period of time because you can actually see a progression of your skill with the deck and how you do with it. Also, we have the 2 opposing invitational winner tokens in play right now.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of one having picked the same token after the other already had, but so goes when it's such a popular token.
Yeah. Alright, so Sebastian has a Tasker in play now, and if he doesn't just give it away again, then he can start grinding this game out really well. And being as we once again are 9 minutes, we have 9 minutes left in the round, and Sebastian's a healthy enough life total with a healthy enough board position. I don't see Michael closing this game out very quickly.
He does get an attack with Flicker Wisp next turn, but he isn't likely to get a whole lot more attacks.
Yeah. Alright, so main phase 2, throwing in this Flicker Wisps. I imagine he's targeting his Blade Slicer. Okay. Getting additional Golem, which means that Sebastian is a little roadblocked on the ground. He can't really get very many favorable attacks, but neither can Michael because right now his 3/3s are checked by that 4/5, and he does have the 3/1 in there, which is relevant enough considering that Sebastian's life total is pretty low.
So it is important that Sebastian understand that the 4/5 only beats the 3/3s when it's blocking, not when it's attacking.
That is an important note for him. Alright, so I can't completely tell, but it looks like Michael's hand is not good.
Yeah, given his desperate flicking and not casting anything.
Alright, so he's just gonna get in there for 3 because at this point you just gotta hope that this 3/1 in the air is good enough.
Which it could theoretically be if Sebastian just never sees another removal spell, though with the 3 removal spells in the graveyard, Tasker is likely to get one back.
Yeah. There's a lot of things going against Michael right now. This much is for sure. Looks like he just cast his Inspector, passed the turn.
Is there anything Michael will be hoping to draw off the Inspector that might change his play on that turn, or was it correct to just
I think
play it and hold up the clue activation?
I think it's correct to crack the clue, but I don't think there's much he would have put in on his turn.
Yeah, because if he cracks the clue, then he might have something to do in Sebastian's upkeep.
Yeah.
Or
I think it's one of those things where it's correct. It would have definitely been correct for him to draw the card on his turn, but there's not a lot lost or gained by doing the play or not doing the play. So it's one of those things where it's like slightly suboptimal, but doesn't matter all that much.
Yeah, holding up the ghost score isn't likely to matter much.
Yeah. All right. So what's Sebastian doing? He's tapping a blue or a black to cast the thing. Casting a Thought Scour, gets another token.
Casting Thought Scour right now is a little interesting. I certainly hope he has a removal spell in his hand, because casting Thought Scour makes it so he might end up just taking a couple more hits off Flicker Wisp.
I'm pretty sure I see a Snapcaster in his hand.
That's relevant.
Yeah, Snapcaster real good. Gonna get rid of Michael's only relevant threat, which is the Flicker Wisp. And once the Flicker Wisp is gone, Michael's not winning the ground race. considering that Sebastian's putting out 1 to 2 tokens per turn at this point. Alright.
Michael's not too happy about that.
Nope. Snap Path, gets another token, removes one of Michael's creatures, and now Michael gets to switch his library for a land, draw a card. If it's 3-drop, he can put in play. Otherwise, he's just going to his turn with a not great board position, staring down a bit of a roadblock from Sebastian's side.
Should he not have cracked his clue before the path resolve?
No, he cracked his clue in response to Sebastian Path.
Gotcha.
So. Alright, he picked up a Displacer, though. That's not bad.
Yeah, that certainly gives him a chance. And he's got a lot of mana.
Yeah, he can activate it twice right now.
So he can
get
actually start winning the board
yeah,
at some point.
He can start winning the board. He can choose to just go and put this in now, make 2 more tokens, and then just keep progressing his board, and then eventually can use it to tap down some of Sebastian's team to try to go in there for an Alpha Strike. So if Sebastian doesn't draw into anything, this is going to quickly pull Michael ahead.
And Sebastian having cast the Thought Scour actually makes it that he might end up not finding an answer to the Displacer in time, or to whatever other top deck Michael might have found.
Yeah. Michael chose not to do the flicker, not to flicker his Blade Splicer twice on his turn. Interesting decision, but I don't think that he gets punished by a ton, because Sebastian can only do removal in response to the second flicker, and at that point, you're fine with losing your Blade Splicer after you've already gotten some value out of it. And you're also taking card out of his hand.
Yeah, it's not like he's getting punished for it, and there, theoretically could be something else he'd want to activate his Displacer on.
Yeah.
On Sebastian's turn, but I don't think there's actually anything that would have changed the play.
Yeah. Alright, so he's going to get Golem. Going to get another Golem, I imagine. And now we're just going to be seeing a token war between these two. I have to imagine, I normally put Sebastian as being favored in this situation, but Michael's putting out 2 3/3s per turn with First Strike. Feels not great. He also chose not to do it again, which is weird.
That's interesting. I guess
so.
He thinks that Blade Splicer is basically his key to winning here. That's a good draw.
The problem is that if Sebastian's going to use a removal spell, he's going to use it on the Displacer.
Yeah.
So you don't get punished by targeting your Blade Splicer, because if he targets your Blade Splicer, oh wow.
Exactly. Yeah, that was definitely too conservative from Michael's play.
That being said, he does have 3 activations now. So he's going to have to make 9 power of Golems on Sebastian's turn, and I imagine Sebastian has 1 or 2 turns to try to find a way out of this before he just loses the game.
Michael does not know what to do, apparently.
I think the line is pretty simple. It's you make Golems, you make some more Golems, and then eventually you attack with the Golems. And it looks like he's choosing only to make 2 Golems here. I think that he's just being way too conservative. Just make as many Golems as he can.
Wow, yeah. Yeah, he's giving Sebastian at least an extra draw step.
Yeah.
And extra Tasker activation.
So it looks like he picked up something that he's willing to give up activating his Displacer for. Oh, is that Gideon?
That's pretty good.
That's pretty solid, and he still gets to have 2 activations of his Displacer. Alright,
so Sebastian has given up his chance to win by default, and
can you hear me out, Mike? So that's a draw, right? Okay. So they drew.
All right.
So that matchup was long.
Yeah, it really was.
It's Mike. We're gonna have Kirby versus Mikey, correct?
Yep.
Alright, yep.
Mikey at Force and Kirby at Elspeth.
Mikey, they'll figure out. So we're gonna have someone else new on the stream. His name is Mikey. He will be playing a Saheeli deck that is going to try to utilize a more green-white mid-range package that also just happens to be running the Saheeli combo, being Felidar Guardian and Saheeli Ride to make infinite cats. And then Kirby's going to be on Cart Clan Ironworks combo, which is a deck that utilizes Cart Clan Ironworks, 4-mana artifact that lets you sacrifice an artifact you control, make 2 mana, to combo off, and then cast Emrakul to take an additional turn and kill your opponent the following turn. Well, your additional turn. It's an interesting deck to see go off. It's a little hard to complain the exact workings of it, so hopefully we'll get to see one of them win with it, so that way we get to have a better basis as to what the deck actually does. That way we just see it do nothing, which is what it does a lot of the time.
Yeah, both of these decks, well, Kirby's deck specifically can fizzle a lot of the time and end up just doing nothing.
Yep.
Mikey's deck has a decent plan B that actually puts pressure on Kirby here.
Yeah.
So, given that both of them are technically turn 4 combo decks, but Mikey has a much better backup,
Yeah.
I would expect Mikey to be a little bit favored here.
I also have to imagine that Mikey's sideboard plan will... I feel like Mikey's going to be more favored after games 2 and 3, because starting with games 2 and 3, I mean to say, because he'll be able to reliably get his tutable answers to what Kirby might be doing, and I feel that, as you already said, his deck is just more consistent in general than Kirby's deck. It's slightly less explosive, but certainly more consistent.
Yeah, decks like Cart Clan Ironworks really suffer from the fact that everyone's playing Artifact Hate already.
Yep.
For decks like Affinity and Lantern Control.
Yep.
So
I feel like also with Lantern Control possibly being on the uptick, going to start being on the uptick, along with Affinity being one of the most popular decks in the format, it's certainly possible that we see Stony Silence being run again and cards of that like, and at that point, KSCI starts having a harder time because the deck struggles even more against Stony Silence than Affinity does, in my experience. Because
That's
Affinity
definitely
can
true.
still do things.
Affinity still has creatures to attack with Stony in play.
Yeah, whereas KCI just kind of has dumb artifacts that do dumb artifact things.
That actually do nothing.
Yeah.
Stony in play.
Yeah.
And then cards like Stony will put pressure on Kirby to both have answers to Stony and have answers to whatever Mikey's creatures are attacking and have answers to a potential combo from
Yeah.
Mikey.
I feel like Mikey should be favored here, but there's a possibility that Kirby just gets out of the gates quick, wins the game, because game 1, Mikey doesn't have a ton of actual answers. He doesn't have counter spells, he's not running Reclamation Sage or anything main board. So game 1, Kirby can possibly get there, and then game 2 and 3, he might have the possibility of just, pulling it out. So it is possible to see Kirby win here. I do feel that he's slightly favored. I could also be wrong, because this isn't matchups you see very often.
Certainly not. These are not decks you see very often.
No, they are not.
Though they're both not that far from being good.
No. I know a lot of decent players who have tried playing 4-color Saheeli and trying to find the optimal build, but it's something that's eluded a lot of people because there's a lot of working parts to try to...
Yeah, people build that deck a lot of different ways.
Alright, so Kirby kept his hand, starting off with a Grove and a Chromatic Star. And I imagine we're going to see some type of Mono Dork from Mikey here.
Ideally, a Noble Hierarch.
Noble Hierarch would be ideal, but any Mono Dork would be fine here. Just something so that way he can start casting his 3-mana spells, start getting really far ahead before Kirby's able to do his Cart Clan thing. It also looks like that Kirby has an Engineer Explosives in hand, which is good against this deck.
Definitely good in this matchup.
Yeah.
So, if I'm not mistaken, Mikey actually has the possibility of a turn 3 kill, and Kirby does not.
Yes.
Because Kirby has no... Well, I guess Kirby has Mox Opal, so that actually theoretically enables a turn 2 kill, but that's not entirely likely.
Yeah. They both have the ability to win consistently on turn 4, sometimes on turn 3.
Hangerback Walker is decent in this kind of matchup because it can buy a lot of time, even just keep pace with Mikey's value play.
Yeah.
While also making a lot of mana with Cryoclane Ironworks.
Alright, so Kirby's gonna go and throw out some stuff. He has the Inventor's Fair with Metalcraft, which means he will gain some life to kind of pad whatever damage Mikey's able to do. And he has a couple things going on, but it looks like that he is not that close to being able to win the game.
Games where the one life every upkeep matter, probably not games Kirby's winning a lot of the time.
Yeah. Alright, and it looks like that Kirby's going to choose to pitch the Engineer Explosives
That's
to duress Mikey and to kill his Voice of Resurgence. Okay, so we have Huntmaster, Renegade Rallier, Pia and Kieran Nalaar, and 2 lands, along with Path Exile that has just been discarded.
Kirby was definitely hoping to hit something like an Eldritch Evolution there. That play was really good against an Eldritch Evolution, not that good against what Mikey ended up having.
Also, Mikey using a cat token. We do have the elemental tokens available, but it's fine. We know what it is. You know what it is. It's fine. Alright, so
I'm not sure how close Kirby is to comboing off here.
it looks like he has drew another Mox Opal. I just
That's
completely
not great.
blanked on what that card name is that I play a lot in this format. And it looks like he's just gonna play it to, yeah, activate Inventor's Fair, get his KCI.
That certainly gets him closer.
Yeah, it means that he's not that far from just winning the game once he's able to get that down. And Mikey's not really doing a lot to pressure him. He just has a 1/1 and some lands, and that Huntmaster is not gonna do a lot to like threaten anything.
Yeah, at this point, Mikey is very far from comboing off. He just has some mid-range stats to put into play and hope that he can beat down fast enough.
Yeah, and I don't realistically see him being able to beat down fast enough to beat what Kirby's doing.
Seems unlikely, although there's always the chance that Kirby just fizzles.
Oh yeah, that's always yeah, that's less likely now.
Certainly. We're going to see him try to go off now. He has the Ironworks in the Scrap Trawler, but he doesn't have a lot to like get an engine going.
He has 11 mana currently available if he plays the Cryoclane Ironworks, sacrifices his Mox Opal and his Star, and then pumps the Hanger back and sacrifices it. And at that point, it's not that bad. Looks like he's choosing to activate his Hangerback Walker instead of that, instead of just trying to set up a win next turn.
Is he going to play the Scrap Trawler now and leave it vulnerable to... Oh, no, yeah, it would just die to Pia. So, Pia and Kieran Nalaar, so that's definitely not something he wants to put into play. Is he going to activate Academy Ruins for something in his graveyard?
Oh. Yeah. He's probably going to pick something up from his graveyard this turn. Set up a more assured win next turn, but now Mikey's getting to go ahead and search his library for anyone permanent, but he's just getting a Sun Tie-In, which, while the phrase "just getting a Sun Tie-In" doesn't come up very often, it's not very good right now.
Certainly not. And one thing to note, he has elemental tokens as Thopters and a cat token as an elemental. So
I'm really mad. Why, if you had that many elemental tokens, why did you use them as your spirits? Want to scream at them. I was also misreading the board state because I was like, wow, he has like a pretty quick clock. Because thank you, Kirby. All right, now just take that elemental that's literally in your hand and swap out with the cat. Just swap it
This
out.
is very simple, Mikey.
I hate it.
Oh man.
All right. I'm pretty sure Kirby has it now.
Oh, I think we're getting there.
Yeah, no, he should have it.
No, I'm talking about the tokens. That's significantly more important than the actual outcome of this game.
Okay.
Is the representation.
I
of
thought
the
he was
word
going to
set.
do it. No, he just moved it.
Oh man.
Man, he is... I'm pretty sure you can just hear us at this point. Alright. So he has 2 mana floating.
Fortunately, he will not get to take another turn with that token. So.
Now, he should be able to go ahead and... I'm pretty sure he has the assured win because he can get the Emrakul this turn by using the Scrap Trawler to get back the Hangerback Walker after he sacrificed it, cast the Hangerback Walker as a 5, and then go ahead and crack the Sanctum of Ugin that's currently in play.
He's gonna draw a few more cards first.
Alright, so from this point, Kirby has the win. He has a lot of mana at his disposal. He can crack the Hangback Walker to get a large amount of mana, and then bring it back by sacrificing one of his other artifacts. And when he recasts it, he'll be able to cast it for 7 or more, which will crack his Sanctum of Ugin and allow him to get Emrakul the Aeon's Torn, and then swing for lethal the following turn. Well, swinging for lethal's gonna be a bit weird. No, he'll have plenty of flyers. So yeah, he'll be able to.
Yeah, he'll have an extra Thopter or 2 Thopters at least hanging around.
So it's just gonna be a lot of us watching Kirby play with himself.
Yes, this is egg. This is why they no longer have access to Second Sunrise.
Yep.
Because not only did Second Sunrise incentivize you to build the deck in a way that it just had much longer turns, but it also just made the deck too good.
Yep.
Second Sunrise also had a slower kill with Pyrite.
Yep.
That
Oh,
was
yeah.
the kill condition.
Yeah,
Yep.
Pyrite Spellbomb was
This
was
is
quite the nightmare for coverage.
yeah.
Alright. Kirby picking up another Terrarion here. No, wait, he has the... Yep. Just a 2 mana draw a card that allows him to sacrifice it, draw another card. So it's just 0 mana, draw 2 cards at this point, which is a pretty solid card. And now we're just gonna wait for him to get to the point of winning the game.
I don't know how much more he actually needs to go off before he just has the win, right?
He also is currently running out of artifacts to bring back the Hangerback Walker.
Yeah, he's gonna need to be careful to keep an artifact
It's
in hand. To
it's
do
a
that.
card that costs less. Hangerback costs 0.
So does he.
Yeah, but it doesn't cost... 0 is equal to 0, so he can't get back Hangerback by sacrificing a 0 mana artifact.
No, I'm saying like he can use the E to trigger and keep the back for next turn kill.
Oh yeah, he can. But like, I'm pretty sure he could also just assure the kill this turn.
He's ahead. He's fine.
Yeah, if you give Mikey another turn, then Mikey gets to kill the Scrap Trawler. Which
Well, he can
I
sacrifice
mean-
the Scrap Trawler to get back the Hangerback, so it's fine.
That's true.
Everything's fine. Alright, and looks like he's doing something. Okay. 8 mana. Kirby now playing the physical dexterity game of trying to keep track of his mana. He currently has 22 mana.
that is a lot of mana.
It's so much mana. Oh, 22 colors, 3 green. 25 total mana. My bad. Yep.
I mean, to be fair, at this point, that's also just a lot of mana. I think he's got plenty.
Yeah.
For his purposes.
Alright, gets back to Hangerback Walker. Okay, great. Now we're gonna see a big Hangerback Walker. Not that big Hangerback
Not that
Walker.
big at all. But big enough.
It's plenty big. He has lethal. He gets Emrakul, sacrifices the Hangerback Walker, gets 4 flyers, and Mikey's dead. Easy enough.
Looks like Mikey gets it, but we're, I guess, going to get to see an actual attack and maybe an Annihilator trigger. You rarely see the Annihilator trigger.
Though
but
if
when you
Kirby
do,
doesn't
it's a treat.
pop the Hangerback Walker, he doesn't actually have guaranteed lethal.
That's true. Hopefully he doesn't miss that.
He did.
Did he miss that? He missed
missed
it.
that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, okay, they're just gonna go. Game
Yeah,
for game.
Mikey has no chance of dealing lethal.
He has no
next
chance of
turn
dealing
anyway,
lethal, but like at the same time, Kirby did miss lethal technically.
yes.
Alright, so as I said, Kirby does have the chance of just winning game one because, wow, Mikey's list. Mikey's
Yeah,
list.
Eldritch Evolution makes for some interesting decks.
Alright, so
Wow.
I'm gonna ask a background viewer, so excuse that it's gonna be a little awkward for the people listening. What does he bring in here? Riveting commentary.
Now we can see the sideboard.
Stony comes in, Ilon comes in, 100%.
No, what does Kirby bring in?
Oh, Kirby. Well, he's not running the card I told him to run, so that doesn't help.
Because I don't know anything. I imagine he's bringing in the Anger of the Gods.
Brutalities come in.
Brutalities come in. Anger of the
comes
Gods.
In. With Oath and Blood Moon, is that a timestamp?
No, it's not a timestamp because it makes it so planeswalkers you control can be cast with any color mana.
So it doesn't matter.
It doesn't affect your lands at all.
He could slow down a lot of the deck though with Blood Moon, and
Gear
Aether Grid isn't the worst.
Aether
but
Grid,
it's not the best.
yeah, they're
He-
playing
You hinder too much of the combo.
right. So all right. So then looking at Mikey's side, he has so much going on. Surgicals can be brought in, Pride Mages can be brought in, Stonies can be brought in, Eidolon gets brought in along with the Stonies. Rex Sage gets brought in.
What's all the text on Cataclysmic Gearhulk? Does it
Cataclysm-
count artifacts?
It counts artifacts, yes. It
Might
can be.
still not be good enough.
I think I think it hurts you more than it hurts Kirby.
Yeah, just because you're gonna have to sacrifice so much of your pressure.
Yeah.
And yeah, Kirby's gonna have to sacrifice down to his Darkline Iron Orcs and maybe one other thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably doesn't get there.
So all right. So they're gonna be bringing some stuff in, taking some stuff out, as you do when you sideboard. And
He might just bring in Nature's Claims and something else if he's specking on the Eidolon/Stony package.
oh yeah,
'Cause
no.
he could just ignore a lot of what he's doing.
Another relevant point is that Kirby could just go for the plan of not bringing in the Anger of Gods, not bringing in Wraith Grids, not bringing in Brutalities. Instead, just bringing in his Nature's Claims, hedging on Mikey having the Stony Silence. Can be a bit of a risk because, as I said, I've seen a lot of lists now are cutting back on the Stony Silences. Just because I don't know why the card's just been on a downtick as of late.
It's likely to be on an uptick in the next few weeks because Lantern.
Yeah.
It's a lot better against Lantern than
With
Lingering Souls is.
with Lantern doing well at the Pro Tour and then Affinity having a huge showing at the Pro Tour, I imagine that there will be a fair bit more artifact hate than there has been in the past couple months. So I am interested to see what plan Kirby does go with. It's also worth noting that Kirby doesn't have a lot of experience with this deck. I think he has like a very medium amount of experience. Like he's good enough to know how the deck works, but not good enough to know like a lot of the really intricate lines.
I think he knows how magic works, which gives you enough
Oh, yeah.
knowledge to actually like make the deck do something. But
Yeah,
he hasn't played with the deck
he-
much at all.
Yeah, like he knows how to play Magic very well. So like that does go a fair amount, a good amount of the way towards like helping him play the deck. It looks like he's cutting the Engineer Explosive Mind Stone and bringing in a fair amount of red spells to see an Anger of Gods, and I'm not sure what else I'm seeing. It looks like
Cutting-
Nature's Claims.
Cutting explosives for Anger of the Gods seems very strange. Because
Yeah.
explosives does a lot of what Anger of the Gods does a lot of the time, but it's also an artifact. It triggers your Sanctum sometimes, and it
Helps you. It helps you
can
combo
interact
out.
with the combo.
Yeah, like it
which
seems
that
a
Anger
weird
does
cut
not
that,
do.
and it looks like he's also bringing in his Blood Moons, which I suppose makes sense.
Yeah, Blood Moon's not bad.
Yeah. So he's bringing in 2 Nature's Claims, 3 Blood Moons, and Anger of the Gods, cutting his Mind Stones.
I might be inclined to not board in Blood Moon on the play, or not board it in on the draw, just because
It's a little too slow.
yeah, it hinders you a little bit.
I also think it's a bit risky bringing in the Blood Moon just because Mikey has so many Mono Dorks.
Yeah.
And it just feels like it's not the matchup. Like, it doesn't hurt him enough to warrant bringing it in. Because it's essentially a dead card for you. You only want to bring that card in when it hurts your opponent enough to warrant you just having a dead card in your combo deck. So...
But there's only so much time Kirby's going to take trying to figure out exactly what he's supposed to sideboard. Given
Oh
that
yeah,
he
yeah.
doesn't.
No, sure. He's not gonna just sit
Yeah.
there for like an hour and just be like, I think I'll bring this in. Like all those cards are certainly defensively we brought in. Your opponent's playing a 4-color deck, bringing in Blood
Yeah.
Moon seems reasonable. Your opponent's playing creature deck, bringing in Anger of the Gods seems reasonable. And they're playing white, so bringing in Nature's Claim just seems fairly logical. So all of his sideboarding makes sense. And the Mind Stones are one of your slower removal spell, one of your slower ramp things, as well as the Engineer Explosives a lot of times can be awkward.
I would imagine Grid would even be better than Anger because it interacts with the combo
Like,
and interacts with creatures and fights through Stony Silence.
yeah. Mm. Alright, so is Mikey just tap lane pass? Looks to be the case.
Not the ideal turn 1 play.
No, it is not. Alright. So I have to imagine. Alright, he's just leading off on the Voice turn 2. Voice is kind of mediocre in this matchup, honestly. It's just a lot of times a 2-2 beater.
I mean, it's good with Eldritch Evolution, but
It's good with Eldritch
past
Evolution.
that, it's just a bear.
And Kirby just throwing out a bunch of eggs here. If Mikey's able to find a Stony Silence, he punishes the start pretty hard, but I don't believe that he has it.
Are we going to see an Eldritch Evolution?
Um,
Or are we going to see...
either an Eldritch Evolution or Renegade Rallier. He can't cast the Healy, so it's most likely one of those two things, but it could also just be a combination of 1 and 2 drops.
Or Eidolon Rhetoric wouldn't be bad.
Eidolon Rhetoric would not be bad. It would slow down Kirby's ability to further his board by much, and instead we're just going to see a 3-2 that brings back a land.
More mana development isn't bad, but
More mana development's not that bad, but if he's not able to develop his board anytime soon, then I'm honestly a little concerned about him losing.
yeah, he's not putting on enough pressure. He's not... I mean, not sure how much of the combo he has in his hand, but he's not really moving towards a combo kill, so...
Yeah.
Kirby certainly looks like he has a lot of time to set up a win.
Yeah.
Although he's cracking his eggs right now to dig for something.
I would assume that he's looking for something in particular, but we could just see him, drawing towards trying to develop more. It does mean that he has less to go off if he hits the KCI, but plays around. If Mikey's able to find a Stony Silence or a Hate Piece, he has less to get hurt by that, since he has only 1 egg in play now. So
But once he has the Scrap Trawler in play, having the eggs in play versus in the graveyard is not that important.
yeah, having things in your graveyard once the Scrap Trawler is in play is actually completely fine. Is able to give you value off of it, which is what you want.
You're going to see Mikey get a blue source here.
I would imagine so. That's the only color of mana he's missing. And he's going ahead and getting the Hollowed Fountain. Right now it now gives him 2 white sources and 1 blue source. Only thing he doesn't have doubles of are the blue and the red, which are his splash colors.
Keeping in the paths is it makes some sense, certainly, because there's an important target, but there's also just only 1 target.
Yeah. Keeping in the path it's a bit weird, but I do see the fact that it could be something you consider to be necessary, because being able to hit the Scrap Trawler or the Hangerback Walker does go a good little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious to see what he boarded out instead of the path to make room for all the other interaction.
And it looks like he's right now just trying to play the fair game. And it kind of looks like the fair game's going to work solely because Kirby's not really doing much at the moment.
Yeah, he hasn't found a lot of pieces.
Yeah.
He needs a Cartland Ironworks here.
He certainly does, and it looks like he does not find one there. He sees another Scrap Trawler, but he knows that Mikey has the check to that in his hand in the form of Path to Exile. So at this point, he might just pick... I kind of like picking the Mox Opal, or that I guess the Trayan's fine as well, but I like the Mox Opal just because it gives you a little more mana to work with, which is what you kind of want right now.
I mean, he does need Scrap Trawler to combo off, correct?
He can combo off without it, it's just harder.
Yeah. I would think it's a lot harder, but
I'm
I'm not familiar enough with the deck to know.
It's a lot harder, and it requires a decent little bit of setup, but there's the possibility that he is able to do it considering how many lands he has in play and how much mana he has access to.
But yeah, if you take the Scrap Trawler here, Mikey's never going to tap out of his Path to Exile, so it's not like you're going to get an opportunity to combo off with that copy.
Yeah, so he's instead going to be taxed with the goal of winning the game without his Scrap Trawler, which is going to be a bit tricky, especially considering the fact that Mikey has access to a decent clock right now, and it looks like he is ghost quartering either one of Kirby's 2 lands. I'm not sure which. Considering that Kirby's activating his Mox Opal right now, I have to assume that he's activating the Academy Ruins, which means the Academy Ruins is getting ghost quartered.
That makes sense. Although Inventor's Fair is also not bad here.
Yeah.
It is a slow Ironworks.
Also, it looks like Kirby activated the Academy Ruins, but then also chose to search for his Ghost Quarter.
Whoops.
And being as there were no basics left in his deck, he just shuffled away a card that he knew about for no reason.
I don't know how much he wanted that card, but he did. He just put it into his deck, but it was a lot worse than being in his library at the very least.
Yeah.
Or being in his graveyard.
Yeah.
He put it into his library instead of in his graveyard.
You figured it out.
I did.
Alright. So, Kirby's dead next turn and doesn't really have much going on.
Yeah, I don't expect this game to go on a lot longer.
Yeah. If he doesn't find the KCI off of this, then I don't see him winning. And even with the KCI, it's going to be an uphill battle for him to win.
He could Hangerback Walker and have another turn or two. Probably just a turn.
He could Hangerback Walker to buy some time, but...
Well, we have a Ironworks, but can he cast it?
He can cast it.
Okay.
He hasn't played a Lantern. Oh, wait. He doesn't have Metalcraft currently.
That's not good.
That's not good for him.
That's not a Darksteel Citadel.
Nope. So I don't think he can actually cast that, and he can't survive, so I think that this is going to be a game win for Mikey here.
Looks like it. I guess he's going to do that and hope to get Hangerback Walker to survive another turn.
Well, Hangerback Walker doesn't...
It dies to Path anyway, so he doesn't survive regardless.
Yep. Okay, so he can 2, 4, 7, 9. He can survive because he has Nature's Claim in hand. He can Nature's Claim his one of his 3 artifacts in play. So he's not dead
relevant. Yet. Yeah.
And Mikey still just has not drawn any interaction at all.
Yeah, that's the thing about playing a combo deck as... I mean, to be frank, a combo deck as bad as Skarkland Ironworks is... you just don't... You don't apply that much pressure to your opponent because you don't have a consistent combo kill.
Yeah. All right. So Mikey pulled him down to 2, and I'm curious to see if he's gonna be able to do anything else. Because if not, then there's a decent enough chance that Kirby just wins next turn. Okay.
Is he gonna Ghost Quarter?
Okay. That's actually really good right now.
Yeah. But he hopefully does not let him go to his main base.
I think that you should have popped that Ghost Quarter right away.
Yeah.
Try to constrict Kirby on mana as much as possible, instead of letting him just, do whatever he wants to. Okay. So, Kirby has a lot in his hand. He has the Scrap Trawler, he has the Hangerback Walker, and he has a Sanctum of Ugin in play.
That's an interesting play. Instead of hitting the Sanctum?
I prefer to just hit the Sanctum there.
Yeah.
Hitting the Grove does quite literally nothing. It does nothing if Kirby wins this turn, and it does nothing if Kirby doesn't win this turn, because if he doesn't win this turn, he's dead. So that was a bit suboptimal.
Mikey's still holding up Path, so Scrap Trawler is not likely to trigger more than once.
Yeah, he's
Um,
gonna most likely get. Well, actually, he can sacrifice the Scrap Trawler in response, so
That's
he can
true,
get
so-
2 Scrap Trawler triggers.
Okay. And if he draws another one, then he's good to go. potentially.
So if Kirby sequences this is right, he's actually gonna be able to get a decent amount of value and most likely win the game this turn. And I feel like that Mikey had the possibility of stopping this from happening if he had used the Ghost Quarter at the correct time.
Yes, the fact that the Sanctum is currently in play
Well,
enables Kirby to have a much more reliable win potentially than.
it is worth noting he does have 2 Sanctums, but
Oh,
the
that's
fact,
true. That's true.
but even cutting him off of one of his additional Sanctums, because Kirby can use the second Sanctum because he can get any colorless creature. He can choose to get the get another Scrap Trawler, get a
Yep.
Hangerback Walker. He has a lot of flexibility thanks to having 2 of them.
Now we're gonna see sacrificing response.
Then he's gonna sacrifice it, which prevents the path from doing anything. Gets back his Wellspring, gets back his Terrarion, and now he's going to get to just continue going off. Druid Anger of God's completely irrelevant at this point, because he should win the game this turn.
Though if he doesn't, it's quite relevant.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't really have a way of casting it though.
Terrarion will be tapped. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's not gonna go.
And he's just he picked up a couple awkward cards. He has Blood Moon, he has Anger of the Gods. I don't think it matters.
Looks like you got another Scrap Trawler though, so.
Yeah, I think that he should have a pretty easy win from this point
Yeah.
onward. Yep. Sacrifice that. Draw a card, get back a Mox Opal. And this is going to take a little bit, but I don't think there's a high probability of Kirby fizzling. And Mikey just, at this point, helping him out, because let's just get this over with. Gets that back, draws a card. Alright. He has the Hangerback Walker in hand, so he should be guaranteed to win this game. It's just going to be a little bit of him twiddling his thumbs while he just gets to the right amount of mana, draws a amount of cards, does what he needs to do to win. Rain Van, thank you for the follow. Glad you got there and hope to bring you more somewhat thrilling Magic content. Currently, it's not that thrilling. Unless you enjoy just seeing a man move his dice around. In which case, continue to watch. Continue to watch regardless, but watch more intently.
I mean, moving dice around can be very entertaining if you look at it the right way.
If you look at it the right way, it can be entertaining. This is correct. So,
Second Ironworks
just literally...
does that even net mana? It doesn't even net mana.
It actually loses in mana,
So Storm Count?
but it allows him to bring back a Scrap Trawler. And that's going to net him
That
mana.
is very relevant, yes.
At this point, there should be 0 chance of Kirby fizzling.
We just get to see him not fizzle.
We just get to see him do things. Just do things. Boy, this D Viking J, I think that's how your name's pronounced. Thank you for getting there. Always appreciate the follows.
The Vikings.
There we go.
That's definitely the right way.
Definitely the right way. Always correct this one. Now, I'm not saying that Kirby should just reveal his hand to Mikey, but
He could, given that Mikey has no game actions to take.
Mikey is tapped out. I'm pretty sure he has the hanger back in his hand, in which case he just has the win. Okay,
Yep.
he has it. Alright, he gets the Emrakul now. He gets like another Hangerback Walker or something. And he's going to be able to assemble a lethal. Okay, he can also just go infinite here.
So he can potentially cast more than one Emrakul.
He can just make infinite Thopters and attack. So the infinite in this deck is weird in the fact that he is going to be able to consistently bring back the Myr, as well as sacrificing it for mana and getting back 1 or 0 mana artifacts from his 2 Scrap Trawlers, which means he's netting mana off of every activation, and he just is able to infinitely loop his Hangerback Walker to make infinite tokens, take an extra turn, swing for infinite damage, and the game is over.
Plus, he gets to draw his deck.
Oh, he gets to draw his deck, yeah. Like, there's just too much value.
If you actually draw your entire deck and then go to take your next turn, it actually is too much value.
It's, got me there.
But it certainly was too much value for Mikey, and we're going to see the match end quite convincingly in Kirby's favor.
All right, so now we're going to get to see Alex versus Harley. Harley being yet another new face to the stream. He's going to be running Teamer Shift with... This is the version that is not running Bring to Light, so it's just Teamer Shift, no Bring to Light. And we're going to see Alex on Grishol Brand. I'll take a brief minute to describe Grishol Brand for those who have not had the pleasure. It's a deck that tries to use Goryo's Vengeance to bring back Griselbrand, which is a 7-mana, 7/7 lifelink that has pay 7 life to draw 7 cards. You pick up a lobby cards, you cast Nourishing Shoal. By exiling or getting a card from your hand, and you gain life equal to the amount of
Warm to be specific.
Woldspire and Warm. You can occasionally exile one of your 2 Borborg Most Enraged, which is your win condition. The long-term goal is pick up most of your deck, put Griselbrand in play, put Borborg Most in play. Borborg Most says discard a land from your hand, deal 3 damage to a creature or player. So essentially you try to pick up your deck, deal 3 damage a bunch with your Borborg Most activations, and kill your opponent.
And Harley will also be trying to deal 3 damage a bunch with Valakut and Scapeshift.
So, Harley, a lot more consistent deck, and the fact that he's not on the traditional red-green version means he does have access to counter spells, which matters a lot in this matchup because Alex can win as soon as turn 2. Technically, he can win on turn 1, but you require literally the God Hand to win on turn 1, and it's way too greedy to try to do that.
Well, if you have the God Hand, is it still greedy?
It's still greedy. Because...
So you have to draw more... You have to have the God Hand and then have the God draw after that.
Yes, it requires a lot of things to go right for you to win on turn 1. And turn 2 is also kind of greedy, but you can consistently win on turn 3. The problem with Grishol Brand is the deck is just inherently inconsistent.
Yep. And Harley is best known on this stream for advocating to attack with Inkmoth at every possible opportunity, even when you could be casting relevant spells.
Okay, I will talk slower. Alright. Okay.
I have to imagine this is a good matchup for Harley, given that he is being a control deck that interacts with the stack against Griselbrand is already good, but also having your own fairly fast kill makes it pretty difficult matchup for Alex.
So the thing about Griselbrand that does make it interesting against blue-based counterspell decks is that your ability to win through Goryo's Vengeance or through the Breach, those are both instants, and everything that you cast to win the game is an instant, so you can win at instant speed, which means that if Harley at any one point does tap out in the game and Alex has the Griselbrand as a graveyard, he is threatening the ability to just win the game in response. So that is what Griselbrand does bring to the table against these type of decks. And we have the list up. We'll have those back up once we go to sideboards, but not too much to talk about from both lists.
Pretty standard.
Pretty standard, what you'd expect to see out of these decks. Even though it's probably been a little bit since a lot of people have seen Rug Shift see the light of day.
Yeah, they tend to be Bring to Light lately, if they're played at all, and they're not red-green.
Yeah.
The blue Shift decks will usually splash the Hallowed Fountain for Bring to Light.
Harley shirt, probably the best shirt we'll see tonight. It says Fight Milk on it. That's all. There's some other stuff. I don't know what it says.
So is it an ad for quote Fight Milk unquote, or is it a piece of advice to fight milk, which seems like a fruitless exercise, but that could be one way to read it.
This just said Caleb advocating to fight milk, quite literally. I believe it's talking about a type of milk that's called fight milk, but I'm also hopelessly unaware. I think it's a wrestling reference, as most of Harley's shirts. Huh? Wow, I actually missed an Always Sunny reference. It's a reference to Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Great show if you haven't checked it out.
It is.
You should watch that. It's definitely one of the better shows that has been released that is not animated.
don't think I actually seen the episode with the Fight Milk reference. But
I probably have. It's just been a bit. So, alright. I, once again, as is the norm, did not see who won the die roll. Though I do have to imagine that that matters a lot in this matchup, as both players can threaten pretty quick kill.
yeah, I think that one was our fault because it happened right in front of us, but we did not pay attention.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Just get a little distracted from what's going on. And, so... Chat just calling you out. I also got informed that I should probably start talking a little slower. That is my bad.
I mean, if you take it too far, people get bored.
If you take it too far, yes. But there's also a point where I'm just kind of rambling on like an idiot and no one can really make out what I'm saying, which is probably where I was at. So we want to avoid that, I
Definitely.
think. Unless you guys just enjoy that. If that's what you enjoy, just let me know. I can definitely ramble on like an idiot for a while.
You don't even need to have people playing Magic for that.
Yeah, we can just turn off the stream. I'll just keep talking.
Make this a radio show.
Yeah, no. I'm going to attempt to improve upon that. Usually I have Andrew to balance that out slightly, but Caleb's slightly less talkative than Andrew. Though that's not saying much, as most people are less talkative than Andrew.
I don't think I know anyone more talkative than Andrew.
Correct.
Not that being talkative is necessarily a bad thing when you're doing coverage, but
All right.
I've got a predictably slow first few turns from Harley, but no action from Alex. I guess he doesn't really want to go off into this remand being represented.
Well, the thing is, Alex's hand is... I didn't see how much he mulliganed, but his hand is just actually awful.
I don't think anyone mulliganed.
Yeah. His hand
I'm not
is...
seeing a lot going on.
He has 2 through the breaches, a Simian Spirit God, a land, and I can't tell what that last card is. If that last card is a World Spot Worm, then the hand is fine, but otherwise his hand's just kind of grody.
He can just put a Through the Breach on the stack next turn, and try to attack with World Spine Worm if that's what his hand is, but that's pretty unlikely to resolve.
So, that is correct. If Alex did not mulligan, I'm really curious to see as to why he kept that hand, because that hand is just really bad comparatively to what you can normally see from this deck. This deck can offer a really explosive start, and that's how you get ahead in a lot of matchups, is you just put out a lot of resources in your graveyard. You have the ability to set up a pretty quick kill, but right now he doesn't have the ability to set up a quick kill, and he doesn't have the way to cycle through his deck, so his hand just doesn't seem like it's doing what you want to be doing.
If it was a 7, then I don't even know if it was supposed to be kept.
If it was a 7, there's no way that should have been kept. And as a, even as a 6, it's really debatable.
So Harley did not crack his Steve at end of turn, which I guess there's not really a rush to do that.
Yeah, he's unlike the traditional red-green version. He's not trying to just ramp towards winning as quickly as possible. So just keeping the Sako Tribe Elder as a way to get Alex down to that. To get Alex down to that 18 life total. Where
yes, that is a very relevant number.
Yeah.
Because it's with 7 lands in play, correct? You do 18.
Yeah. I have to imagine what we're gonna see from Alex here is we're gonna see an end of turn Through the Breach, and then untap Through the Breach. But seeing as Harley does have the ability to just kill Alex from 18, that has the good possibility of just being too slow here.
Yep.
Through the Breach, and that's gonna get met with a remand. And
Harley's still representing another remand.
I think that I see an Izzet Charm in his hand, which
is even better.
Yeah, Izzet Charm threatening to just counter the Through the Breach. And so we're gonna just see a Faithful Suiting here.
I definitely like casting the remand first, both because it digs you more towards your combo and eats up more of Alex's mana.
Now, worth noting, Harley doesn't actually have the guaranteed kill even if he escape shifts for 18 because Alex does have the ability to just gain 12 life at instant speed. That's an element that I did not think about when originally talking about this matchup. The instant speed life gain.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I mean, he has to have it, which I don't believe he does.
He does have a Nourishing Shoal.
He does have a Nourishing Shoal now, alright.
Yeah.
So yeah, that could come up.
If Harley just goes for just try to win through the exact damage, he may not win. But he has more than enough lands to kill him even through the 12 life gained.
Because all that Scapeshift does there is he tries to win that turn, but he can still win in future turns just by making land drops or casting another Scapeshift.
Yeah. And there's also the very real possibility that the Sakura Trap Elders are actually going to be enough to force some type of action from Alex. And he's going to splice the Through the Breach onto that. It's very interesting because...
So he has the second Worldspine Worm in his hand, and was that another Nourishing Shoal?
I'm not for certain. This really incentivizes a counterspell from Harley, so I have to imagine this is bait. And that is his hand is Worldspine Worm plus another Nourishing Shoal.
Alright.
But this is so obviously bait that there's a possibility that Harley doesn't counter it, but there's also no reason not to counter it because the amount of the possibility of you losing is pretty high.
Yeah, if Alex has a Gristlebrand in hand, then this starts to go very poorly for you.
Yeah.
Especially since Alex blocking wouldn't do anything because the Steves sacrifice themselves. But
yeah. Alright, so we're going to see it Through the Breach. It's going to resolve. Alex is going to get in there for 15 trample damage. And
unfortunately, it is not the Emrakul type of 15. But
no, it is not.
It's still pretty good.
Emrakul 15 would have just ended the game, but with this, Harley has to either draw into a Cryptic Command to start tapping down the Worm tokens, or he's going to die pretty quickly to those 3 5/5 trample worms, which we apparently don't have access to.
And having to use up your Cryptic Commands for fogs is really not where you want to be when it's so important that some of Alex's key spells do not resolve.
Okay, so it looks like Alex was on a mulligan from what I'm gathering from Connor, which means if he kept that 6, it's perfectly debatable to keep that at 6. Defendable, I should say, not debatable.
Yeah. Yeah, the deck doesn't mulligan particularly well as far as I understand.
It's rough.
There's only so much you're hoping for on that 5.
Yeah. I played the deck for a little bit. You're definitely at the mercy of your draws, to put it politely. Politely, mildly, whatever you want to say. I imagine
it's whatever you want to say with your sentence. But
that is correct. But we're going to see a Cryptic here. Tap down the team. Just buy Harley some time.
Hopefully get him closer to a Scapeshift kill.
Yep. Most likely just going to be tap down your team, draw a card.
Because Alex does not have another way to gain more life, so he is dead to a Scapeshift here, correct?
He would be dead to Scapeshift even if he can gain 12 life. Harley has way too many lands at this point. So, Harley bought some time, and how close is he to just have... He has 3 mountains in play? Yeah,
yes,
1, 2,
3
3.
mountains.
So he's pretty close to just having 4 in that.
And that's another land.
Scapeshift.
Alright.
Scapeshift lethal. So...
That was a reasonably close game.
It was. It was a little bit odd for this matchup. There wasn't really much going on from Alex's side.
Yeah.
But that's also reasonable to expect from this deck. Gristlebrand being a deck that it does have it's debatably the most explosive deck in the format when it works, but it's also really inconsistent.
Yeah, it and Storm I think have the fastest potential kills, but it's not nearly as consistent as Storm is.
Alright. So from Alex's side, we can possibly see a Pact of Negation coming in
Seems
here.
likely.
Collective Brutality is another thing that's possible, and Blood Moon to shut off Harley's ability to win through Scapeshift and to cut off his cryptic commands and his just consistency in his mana base are all cards that seem likely.
You can board out stuff like Cathartic Reunion or Lightning Axe.
Lightning Axe definitely comes out. Monomorphos is a card that can be cut a lot of times in my time playing it, and Cathartic Reunion can be cut solely because we are seeing a counterspell deck.
More than just a counterspell deck, a remand deck.
Yeah.
Remand is quite the blowout against Cathartic Reunion.
Meanwhile, from Harley's side, we're definitely going to see Dispels. All of Alex's win cards are instants. Going to see the negates. Going to see... aside from that, not much else is really that great from his side. But
Yeah, I don't see anything else that's relevant here.
the Dispels and the negates are plenty good, and you can definitely cut the Electrolyze. Card's just goofy. And
Lightning Bolts?
yeah, Lightning Bolts. I mean, Lightning Bolts is... Yeah, you can just trim some Lightning Bolts.
4. Yeah.
So just go down 2 Lightning Bolts, and I don't see anything else in his sideboard that needs to be brought in here.
Yeah, there's actually, like, he would like to just go down to 0 Lightning Bolts, but he just doesn't have relevant things to bring in.
Yeah. So, curious to see what all Alex brings in, and from Harley's side, it seems pretty cut and dry what he brings in.
Yep.
It is interesting that since Harley has no graveyard hate, Alex doesn't have to worry about getting his graveyard exile. Of course, he doesn't know that, so it's pretty likely to see Alex be thinking about what type of graveyard hate Harley's going to be bringing in, even though there is none.
What type of graveyard hate would Harley be bringing in?
It would have to be something like
like
Grafdigger's Cage or Surgical Extraction or Relic Progenitus. Would be the 3 things I could think
Yeah,
of.
there's certainly the options, but given that he's running Snapcaster, Relic is not necessarily great.
Relic, okay, yeah. So it is reasonable to assume that there's no graveyard hate, but it is also just interesting that a lot of decks right now do have graveyard hate because there are plenty of graveyard decks in Modern.
Yep.
So, but we're gonna see Alex on the play. Hopefully, get to see a hand that shows a little bit more what this deck is supposed to do.
Faithless Looting's always a good start.
Yep, 2 Faithless Lootings, some lands. I have to imagine it's a keep.
Yeah. Hard to refuse the all that card selection.
Yeah, Faithless Looting, just debatedly the best card in your deck. And he's discarding. Okay, he's just throwing him in the graveyard.
All right.
Harley is now starting on this turn. He has to be worried about dying for the rest of the game. And that's kind of what this deck brings to the table. It's
So,
pretty intimidating.
we're definitely going to see a shock, and so he can hold up or threaten to cast a Dispel.
Yeah.
So if Alex has a win here, I'd imagine he'll attempt it into a Dispel, just because Dispel's so easy to hold up for the rest of the game.
I actually like just waiting one more turn. You gain your chances of winning with 3 land. The ability to play your 3rd land are a lot higher than your chance of winning with only having 2 lands in play.
Okay.
And at this point, he has the Faithless Looting, so he's not going to be doing nothing this turn.
That's true.
So, gonna see that Faithless Looting. And he's pitching 1 Shoal and probably that Swamp that he keeps putting to the front, or that Temple. Okay. So,
Is he planning on playing a tap land next turn? If he's
it
gonna
looks
go
like
off?
he is planning on playing the tap land.
His tap land both doesn't cast Faithless Looting and doesn't help you combo off.
I'm not for sure how I feel about that, but I'm more not for sure how I feel about discarding the Shoal. Because you have the
Looks like he has
Vengeance in
a
your hand.
second Shoal,
Okay.
which is probably enough.
And at this point, until he draws into another way to win the game, he's most likely just going to sit back on his 1 Vengeance and just try to set up a win once he's able to have a little bit more.
Probably should
a-
probably tap his green mana for. Yep, there you go.
Okay. I see what he's doing here. So
Okay, so he's splicing.
he's splicing, and this means that Harley is forced encountering this Shoal, but then Alex can next turn just go ahead and slam down the Vengeance without anything else, and he doesn't care
Smart.
that much. Alright, and Harley just has the double Dispel, though.
Well, that.
That's
that's pretty good.
That's pretty
Yeah.
unlikely to happen, but hey, sometimes you just have it. So I think Alex's play was pretty good, but Harley just had the perfect punish.
Harley definitely drank plenty of fight milk this morning.
Alright, so we do see the Blood Moon there.
Alright. Remand on the Blood Moon, that's pretty good.
Alright.
So Harley doesn't have any answer to a resolve Blood Moon, is that correct?
He has Nature's Claims, but I really doubt he brought
yeah,
those in.
it seems unlikely to board that in. So now he has to make sure to not let that thing resolve.
Yeah, because if that thing resolves, it makes his... well, he can Cryptic Command to bounce it.
That's true. Okay, yeah. And that's all you need.
It just...
Just have it not in play for a turn.
It's just a little tricky to cast the Cryptic Command once the Blood Moon's in play.
That's true. The second basic island gets him most of the way there.
Yeah. The players just cannot keep cards in their hand today, just throwing them everywhere. Who needs them?
That camera nervousness.
Alrighty then. Now what we doing? We're just passing? Alright.
Harley has a Izzet Charm.
Did you just say Izzet
Steam.
Charm?
I did.
Okay.
That's probably not correct. Probably is it.
It's probably. Is it really?
Is it really is it?
Alright.
Or is it really Izzet? I don't know.
Who knows? No one knows. Alright, so drawing 2 cards. He picks up another Vengeance, which he might be able to force through next turn by using the Blood Moon as bait. And following up with the win. And at this point, I think that you just, from Alex, you just be patient. If Harley tries to win, then of course you try to force through your Vengeance, but otherwise, just be patient, and you should probably be able to pull through a win next turn.
Yeah, Harley's gonna need to have something like Cryptic plus Charm up.
Alright. Alex instead just choosing on fire off that
That's interesting.
Vengeance dry,
Doesn't
which
seem great.
I'm
Oh,
not-
I guess it does let him be makes it a lot more likely that he'll resolve his Blood Moon next turn.
also if Harley lets this
But-
resolve, he just loses the game. Like
True.
the chances that Alex fizzle are pretty low.
Yeah, I definitely like using the Charm here instead of the command.
Alright, so now he's just gonna throw the Blood Moon. And does he just... Okay, he has a Night's Whisper. Picks up 2 cards. Nothing that great, so now we're just gonna see a pass back to Harley, and we're gonna probably be sitting here for a little bit.
Yeah. Blood Moon can do that to a game like this.
Also, since he's playing the Rug version, he doesn't really have a great plan of just... He's not playing Primeval Titans, I believe. I didn't see Primeval
I
Titans.
don't think I did, yeah.
We've literally had the list in front of us multiple times.
That's true.
And they're discussing right now the new rule change with Blood Moon, wherein if a Shockland went into the battlefield, it no longer requires you to pay life to have it into the battlefield tapped. As a matter of fact, you don't get the opportunity to pay life.
Which can sometimes be relevant if you are playing Death Shadow.
Oh yeah, it definitely hurts if you're on Death Shadow. Or it doesn't hurt. Also,
Hurts your game plan.
Hurts your gameplay. Search for Escanta, not that great when there's a Blood Moon play. It lets you scry one every upkeep.
Gets him closer to that third island, or a forest to get a Steve for the third island.
Yeah. And it looks like Alex keeping the other Blood Moon in his hand, because if he has 2 Blood Moons out, it means that Harley can't simply Crypt Command away 1. So it's actually relevant to have 2 out.
Yep. Yeah, at this point, Harley needs a lot more to go right for him to end up comboing off through these Blood Moons than Alex just needs to top deck a Gorgeous Vengeance.
So this game's gonna get weird, is how I would describe it. So I imagine we're just gonna be waiting for one of them to get what they need. That's not how that works. Can you?
Harley.
No.
All
Yeah,
right,
there
you
we go.
There you go.
That's not a scry, you dummy.
I will admit, I also did that the first time I had a search trigger, but
No, you should not have said that. You should have gone in on Harley, been like, you're an idiot. Learn how to play with your cards.
well, see, unlike Harley, I only criticize when it makes sense.
Okay. All right. So Alex going on the Simian Spirit God plan. This happens a lot with this deck, actually, because your deck's really inconsistent. It's just literally the most inconsistent thing.
And it actually could get there at this point. Harley, I
it
mean,
really
8
could.
turns is not necessarily enough for Harley to get out of this double blood moon.
8 turns isn't enough to beat these 2 enchantments. This 2/2 Simian Spirit God just gonna carry him. This Grey Ogre, too good.
I mean, it is a very good card.
Also, Alex. Okay, there we go. He's fixing his tapping of mono. And Harley thinking about whether or not to counter that card. Looks like he didn't, and now Alex has access to the Shoal plus the Big Worm.
Which is going to make it even harder for Harley to end up coming off.
Alright, so looks like we're
In
gonna see.
response?
Okay.
Oh, he had the
Oh.
Glorious Vengeance in his hand.
Okay.
Well then. So he just had it the whole time. He was being very patient with it.
Okay, there's a very good chance that Harley is dead here, if this resolves.
And I don't know what Harley could have for triple red to not let it resolve.
Yeah, and it just resolves here, and Alex is going to go up, gain 12 life, go up to 23 life. He's going to get to draw 21 cards, and he has access to 1 black mana. His chances of winning right now are really high. Yep. And he has the Vengeance in his hand, which means right now all he's missing is a Simian Spirit Guide and the adequate amount of lands to win the game.
So some combination of Borborygmos lands and ways to gain more life, draw more cards.
Yeah, which at this point his deck is just chock full of.
Yep, I definitely like his chances here.
Did he fizzle?
Not yet. He still has another draw.
Nope. He has he has another draw plus the Shoal. Does he have anything to exile to the Shoal? Yep, he has something to exile. And he's choosing to do this now, so that way if he doesn't just die to a lightning bolt if he tries to do that after drawing the 7 and putting himself down to 1. So drawing 7 cards, picks up the Simian Spirit God, and that should be game.
Yep. You wouldn't normally expect Harley to have lightning bolt, but given how few cards he had to board in, it's certainly worth playing around.
And at this point, Alex doesn't need anything more. Okay.
Well, if you board it in packed, I mean, there's nothing Harley's casting here that's relevant, but you could like go find a pack just to have it as backup.
Yeah, but no, this game is over. Exile Simian Spirit Guide, cast. Okay, he's going for the line that is unnecessary, but he's gonna try to through the breach, I guess.
Okay. Not sure why.
Okay. Okay. He's up to 4 red. He's up to 5 red. He's gonna cast through the breach. He's gonna put a Borborygmos, and he's going to dome Harley for approximately a lot of damage. So that's
A lot is a good approximate figure.
3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Okay. Yep. All right. So we got to see that deck, Grishalbrand, win the game. Pretty interesting deck to see win. So just to confirm, yes, we do not have Primeval Titans from Harley's side.
Yep.
So
He had no real way to win past, just win through Blood Moon.
yeah, with if you don't win through Valakut, you're not winning.
I mean, Snapcaster Mage can be down.
It can beat
So
down.
can Steve.
It can beat down as efficiently as Simian Spirit Guide. So they both have a pretty suboptimal backup plan. So that's neat. And now it looks like they're both going back to the drawing board. I could see.
Can't
Alex,
imagine what Harley's going to be changing here.
Yeah, I can't see much being changed. For
Although it
Harley.
looks like he is.
I could certainly see some changes from Alex's side depending on player draw.
Yep. Yeah, Collective Brutality gets a lot better on the play.
And they have plenty of time to finish this game up, so we're not going to see another draw from this matchup, although I would hope to never see a draw from Grishol Brand in general. That deck loses
Yeah.
quick or it wins quick.
I mean, unless you're on the 2-2 beatdown plan.
Although that game, it did win slow, so never mind. Never mind everything I said. Disregard it, throw it in the trash. Like most of the things I said, it's just awful.
I mean, usually you would expect Grishol Brand to win fairly quickly,
Usually.
but it gets trickier when your opponent has a lot of interaction.
So, they're shuffling up. Probably going to be in the play. He's going to try to, just enact his counter spell and win through Scape Shift plan, and Alex going to try to enact his plan of attack with my men and throw lands at your face.
Doesn't do it that much attack.
It does one attack.
Sometimes.
It
Although,
sometimes
a lot
attacks.
less in this matchup because he's casting it in his main phase a lot less often.
Yeah, he's just casting it random times as you do with the counterspell deck.
Yep.
It's why when I played this deck, I liked it so much, just because like if you're playing against a counterspell deck, you can just randomly go, I win the game. Good playing with you. You did
Yes.
well.
Similar with Ad Nauseam, except Ad Nauseam has a much clunkier instant to try to resolve.
It has such a clunky instant.
It's a lot more consistent than Grishol Brand.
Oh,
so.
that's not saying much though, because this deck,
I mean, it's
Not
pretty
consistent.
consistent.
yeah,
It is one of the more consistent slow combo decks.
yeah. Nauseam's really consistent at doing what it does. This deck is really inconsistent, but the payoff is really high.
Yep.
So. Also, Alex heavily abusing splice cards, which is something that we don't see very often in modern or any format.
Yeah, I'd totally forgotten that Splice was relevant in this deck.
Splice is a very weird keyword.
It's kind of
It-
cool.
It's really cool, but
The fact that it's so parasitic makes it less than great keyword design, but it would be interesting to have applications past only splicing on Arcane.
Yep, now we'll just get a return to Kamigawa when you can splice onto other things.
Well,
Not really.
splice onto something other than Arcane wouldn't have to be in Kamigawa.
It wouldn't be, but let's just get return to Kamigawa. Have a great, great return block. Everyone loved Kamigawa block.
Well, it's more like redeem Kamigawa than return to it. You want to make a good Kamigawa block.
The first block was flawless. Also,
Flawed, I think is what you meant.
yeah, that's probably true. We see a Pulse Marasa from Harley's side.
Interesting. What does that even do?
I guess.
You can put, when he puts Grizzle Brand in the
Oh.
Oh, it is graveyard interaction for your opponent.
So
I
he
did
can
not realize that.
he does have graveyard interaction in the form of Pulse Marasa to return the targeted creature from Alex's side to Alex's hand.
Fun.
That's really cheeky, and I miss that interaction.
So now Alex is could like if a Blood Moon's in play, Harley could have Forest non-basic up and actually have interaction.
Yep. That's also something that it's very likely that Alex may not play around.
I wouldn't play around it.
I would most likely play into that, and Alex got a keep, but his hand's a little weird. See a Faithless Looting, his only land's a tap land, and I think I see a big man in his hand, but I'm not for sure. But he does have the Goria's Vengeance plus Faithless Looting, so his hand could shape up pretty well here.
Ad Nauseam and Gloria's Vengeance are the only two decks in Modern that play Temples, I believe.
Correct.
Temples are a lot better in Ad Naus than they are in Gloria's Vengeance. I would
Yeah, they are just kind of a card you play because you can discard them if they're bad.
say.
Like they're
Well, it's card filtering, but also
it's card
makes mana.
filtering. They are overwhelmingly mediocre in this deck. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, they're pretty good in Ad Naus.
I have to head out early.
Get that out early.
Yeah.
Okay. Like right now early.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll figure that out.
Sorry.
You're good.
Unexpected things came up. Oh, yeah.
We'll just get someone else in there. Have a good night, man. All right. So we're gonna have slightly less what Michael was on. What was Michael on? We're gonna have slightly less taxes. Yeah, it's Sebastian's taxes.
Yep.
Okay. We're gonna have more taxes. We're gonna have Kirby play taxes. He
The
wants to
same
play
amount of
taxes.
taxes,
The same amount of taxes.
but less Michael.
as taxing as it may be. Alright. So Alright. So against Serum Visions, this game's we kinda have a little bit of a lot of background noise. Sorry about that. One of our members had to leave early, but we're gonna have someone else fill in for him in his round. And right now we're gonna get back to the game and see that Alex doesn't really have much going on in his graveyard, and Harley is just enacting his game plan of drawing cards and playing lands.
Yeah, Alex is gonna need to find some more action.
Yeah,
That's action though.
it's action, and at this point he really needs it because his hand it's not great.
Yeah. You have to start flashing back Faithful Looting next turn.
So World Spawn Worm shuffles in, and Alex going on crack a fetch.
Harley debating whether or not to. Harley was thinking about potentially responding to one of those shuffles.
I think he was more just confused that Alex was shortcutting the two shuffles.
That is the downside of shortcuts, is sometimes you confuse people.
Yep. One bright side from Harley's side is he does not have to worry about losing instant speed right now because there's not a Grizzlebrand in Alex's graveyard.
You can still some number of Simian Spirit Guides and through the Breach.
Yeah, he could, but that's pretty unrealistic to win from that.
Yeah.
He essentially just has a lot more breathing room, which is what he wants to have, and Alex just having all the temples.
Hopefully that is actually all of them, because a fourth would just be a lot of temples.
Yeah. All right, picking up two cards.
That was another temple.
So he has 4 temples.
All right. So now he does have all the temples.
All right. So is he gonna keep that temple? What?
Discard. That was the combination of cards I'd least expected to have him discard. I'm confused. What else is in his hand?
I'm not the biggest fan of discarding. That's great. Beautiful. Flawless. Can't see anything. No creatures though.
Like now his graveyard looks better than his hand.
Yep. Also, interesting note, Harley brought in Nature's Claim. I imagine that was what he was changing from his sideboard so that way he could answer the Blood Moon. So, that is.
Makes sense.
And Alex is quickly getting to the point where he needs to worry about dying to Harley's Escape Shift.
Yep, another turn or two.
That's neat. Why? Okay. So,
Harley passing again, leaving up. Not cryptic, but
leaving up
still plenty of interaction.
leaving a possibility of Remand, Is It Charm, and
Dispel, negate.
Dispel, negate. He's leaving up a large variety of possible counterspells. And Alex...
And Pulse of Marasa.
And Pulse of Marasa. It looks like Alex is most likely just going to be in the plan of throwing in this worm at some point.
Yeah, it's a nice way to put some pressure on, or that's not putting a worm into play. Unless the last card is...
Okay, so this
Wait,
is a
what's...
bluff.
Wow. Nice.
This is just a hard bluff.
I like it. Now, if he untaps and doesn't cast it again, like this is going to be interesting because if Alex untaps, is he going to just bluff his through the reach again?
He's just going to bluff his way through this game. I imagine if he untaps, he's going to probably through the breach on the end of Harley's turn and then hope to draw into something.
Yeah.
So, Alex picked up. I'm not sure we picked up there. Okay, he's just gonna.
Not gonna be through the breaching.
Yep, Faithless Looting.
Which probably, if Harley's paying attention, probably makes him think that it's less likely, or it might occur to Harley here that was a bluff.
Yeah.
Because you probably wouldn't just Faithless Looting here if your hand was good.
Also, I'm not sure about playing that final land.
Yeah. How does he have more faithless looting than his graveyard?
He doesn't, but he plays enough looting effects in his deck.
That's true.
He's just gonna
Okay.
run off this Monomorphose
Sure.
as a cantrip. Sure.
Doesn't do that much anyway.
Yeah, he just did it on Incept because why not? And looks like he picked up another worm and he has to Through the Breach again. So he might try to just run out this Through the Breach because he realizes that he is under the gun right now.
If Harley does not respond, I will be very proud of him.
I mean, if he doesn't, then he's in trouble because that worm is actually going to be an issue.
That's true.
But Harley does.
Alex did find a worm. Okay.
Harley does have multiple answers. He has.
Yeah,
the
Harley's
Snapcaster
still
Mage, he has-
respecting
yeah.
the card.
He has. Harley has a lot going for him right now. Alex
Yes.
has very little going for him.
That's pretty good.
Yep. This also gives him another land for if he draws Escape Shift. If he draws Escape Shift, the game is over.
He could also reveal it off of a search activation.
He could activate Search, pick it up, and win the game. So. The answer he is looking for is yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's plenty. That's plenty, Harley.
Okay.
Wait. Okay, yeah, he just had it.
Okay. So, Harley picked up the win there with Escape Shift. And now we're going to go ahead and get our next matchup in, which is going to be what matchup?
Next is Sebastian and Mikey.
Sebastian versus Mikey.
Esper against Sigil.
Neat.
That was a really sweet match, though.
Yeah.
Hadn't realized just how much play there would be to both sides of this.
All right, so let's see. Saheeli combo versus Asper Mentor.
That's interesting.
This is a matchup I know nothing about.
Does anyone know anything about this matchup?
No
That is my question.
I
think no one should. Like, this is not a matchup that people should ever test.
this is
But it could be quite interesting.
it could be interesting. If I had to put it in any of their favors, I'd put it on Sebastian being favored here. Esper Mentor just has a lot of removal, has the ability to get a lot of tempo, and make Mikey's plan seem kind of silly.
Yep.
But there's also the possibility that Mikey's just able to do the green-white thing because his deck does have a backup plan of just, here's my value.
Yeah, cards like the 2-drop bear that's not great in the other matchup.
Voice of Resurgence?
Voice of Resurgence, pretty good against blue decks.
Voice of Resurgence, he has the possibility to get out an early big threat through his Eldritch Evolution, and he does just in general have good value. So it's certainly possible that Mikey's able to win this one. We're going to learn along with you guys.
The hand attack is what's really going to be good for Sebastian here. It's going to let him like tap out for his mentor without worrying that much about getting
Yeah.
comboed out.
The fact that Mikey is low on removal with only 4 Path Exiles, I believe, does mean that...
Does he even have the 4?
I'm not for sure. Oh, look at
Let
that.
me see.
Oh my god, there's so many cards. He has 2 Path Exiles. So he has very
Super
little
right.
removal. Also, so he's running Kiki Jiki, he's running 3 Faladar Guardian, he's running One Courser. He is running a lot of things.
Man, he has the excavator, Ramunap excavator.
He does have PN Kieran Nalara, which can generate some value later on in the game, but that's a super light game card. And that Suntine does feel like it could be problematic if it ever resolves through all of Sebastian's hand.
P and Kieran Nallar is just not that much value compared to cards like just Lingering Souls.
This is definitely going to be another game where Sebastian's just trying to enact this plan of outvaluing his opponent. And I feel that looking at both decks, he has the tools to do it. So,
You saw it too late because like you faithless looting away.
alright, we're going to actually see the die roll. Oh my god.
Oh man.
They both rolled the same thing. This is amazing.
You can footsteps up the Gloriosa.
Alright, Mikey's going to be on the play.
Mikey rolled a 7 twice there in a row. That's pretty impressive from his
It's
side.
pretty average, actually.
It's okay, sure. Also, I'd like to note that we had 3 people with the first, with Michael somewhere, and there are 3 names. Well, with M-I something, because we had Mikey, Michael, and then someone
Somewhere
else.
in there 3 names?
Huh?
Somewhere in there, 3 names?
Yeah, and their first, middle, or last.
Do we even know any of these people's middle names?
We know at least one of their middle names. So,
But I mean, none
We
of them
personally-
are
they don't.
Michael.
none of them are Michael.
Yeah.
They might be. Who
Oh,
knows?
okay.
My middle name might be Michael.
It might be.
No one knows.
I have no idea.
Would you like to know?
Maybe?
Okay, I'm not going to tell you.
I mean, if it's not Michael, I'd be pretty disappointed.
It's not.
Okay.
I might change it, though. Alright.
That definitely seems correct.
Seems correct. Alright, anyways, enough of our banter. Did Sebastian take a mulligan?
He sure did,
Look at
as is
that.
typical. It's like
His
a
hand is
fine hand with opt, path, lands.
up, path, lingering souls, 3 lands.
Yep.
Seems fun. About what you'd want from this deck, I guess. I imagine Sebastian wants to remove that birds, but Path
But
Exile
with-
not exactly very good
yeah.
at doing that.
Probably just going to leave up an opt.
I have to imagine that's what he's going to do. Probably play Dark Six Shores, but he might be thinking about throwing down another land. This is modern, probably. I think.
These would be some interesting cards for any other format.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's the night of let's show interesting decks from Modern that you could possibly play, or if you so did desire. This is 1000% correct. As a matter of fact, Path the Bird is pretty much always incorrect, whereas Bolting the Bird is almost always correct.
is there actually any circumstance where Path the Bird is correct?
Like there are very niche
Maybe with
situations.
Leonin Arbiter in
My
play?
anger was there for mismatch the spell.
I mean, that's one situation. But
That's one
if
situation.
they ever can get a land off of it, it's just...
If you're
Bird is
really worried
almost
about a
never gonna
turn
be.
2 knight, then there's sometimes it's correct, but like there's very few situations where you want to kill that.
Yeah.
And we see Reflector Mage, Oath, and Huntmaster of the Fells.
Huntmaster, one of the actually potentially good value cards here. Like, Huntmaster and Sun Titan are the ways that Mikey could actually win the long game.
I think taking the Huntmaster feels fair.
Yeah.
And now Mikey only has the Night of the Reliquary as a big threat, and Sebastian does have the check to that in the form of Path to Exile, which I imagine we're going to see him fire off before passing, so that way Mikey can't activate it to get a land.
Yep.
Pretty straightforward stuff here. That being said, Sebastian is putting himself on the back foot here. Because Mikey will be able to untap, play an Oath, and we'll see 4 cards in his next turn to try to find a 3-drop or less on which he can cast. Actually, sorry, a 4-drop or less of which he can cast, which is pretty much his entire deck except for Tiki
And Sun Titan.
and Sun Titan. I forgot that he runs Sun Titan.
Sun Titan's pretty sweet.
Oh no, Sun Titan's a great card in this deck. You can go infinite with it and 2 Saheelis, which is
Yep.
a neat little piece of combo synergy.
Reflector Mage also pretty nice against later if Sebastian chooses to run a Delve Threat or Monastery Mentor into it. It's a nice tempo play.
So Mikey had the choice of picking the Sun Titan, going for the later game, or picking the Force of Resurgence, which is just in general a good card in this matchup. Chose to take the Sun Titan because Sun Titan is a beating in this matchup.
Yep. And the fact that Voice does just get answered by Path Exile, and at this point in the game, it's less impactful because it doesn't attack.
Yeah. And now Sebastian's probably gonna go on the Mentor plan, and Mikey can choose to either play the straightforward line of going ahead and throwing down that Sun Titan, or he can choose to just try to get tempo play with Reflector Mage. But at this point, that's just kind of silly because Sun Titan's too good.
Sun Titan definitely makes sense here. He's gonna get a land.
Yep, get a land. Pass. Sebastian can get very minimal value off of this Mentor. And
Sebastian's gonna need an answer to that Sun Titan. I mean, he can chump block for days.
he can chump block
But
for a long time, but
That's not where the value of Sun Titan is.
yeah, like if you don't kill that Sun Titan soon, it's gonna start burying you. Even though it's only getting lands currently, if Mikey finds a way to do something more than just get lands, he's gonna get pretty far ahead. And that Reflector Mage also is gonna be a pretty huge blowout next turn.
Yep. gonna make it more difficult for Sebastian to do a lot of jump blocking. So currently, Sebastian's in the tank.
Sebastian,
We see he has Lingering Souls in his hand, which would be a decent play right now.
he has Lingering Souls, Monastery Mentor, Land, and a Tasker.
Okay.
So
Tasker definitely not what he wants to do.
Tasker, not a good play here because
Second Mentor.
did he not play? Is he just holding his land? Am I missing? Does he not actually have a land?
I mean, presumably he doesn't because he would have played it.
No, he has a land. That's definitely a Flooded Strand.
Whoa. Okay.
I don't.
Not sure why you would do that. There's not like a looting effect or a landfall trigger to miss. I don't know.
I don't know. Who knows? It's a mystery.
Okay. So Healy's not the worst card.
No.
Doesn't do much here other than make a Sun Titan and get 2 more lands.
Yeah.
Actually, it kind of... Oh, Sun Titan is Vigilant, so it's not going to die very quickly.
Yeah. And so at this point, Sebastian can just choose to take 12. If he blocks one of these, then that Reflector Mage takes care of the other one, and it leaves Sebastian with that much. I also just kind of like, from Mikey's side, playing the Reflector Mage and copying the Reflector Mage. Just because that's a huge tempo swing.
That would have been pretty good as well. Yeah, I don't know if I like blocking there.
Yeah,
I
because
mean, there's no burn to worry about. Going to 2 and keeping him paying 6 life to keep a mentor in play.
Yeah.
Seems correct.
Like,
because how are you getting out of this without a mentor?
Yeah, and you know about the Reflector Mage.
Yeah.
So it certainly is interesting to see from Sebastian's side. So now we're going to see that Sebastian doesn't have anything in play. Mikey has a huge board, and we know that Sebastian doesn't have any main board wraths. Also, it's a little interesting to see Mikey not playing the Oath before attacking. Because
he could have gotten it back with Sun Titan.
Yeah. Like, I don't think it mattered at that point, but at the same time, still a small point loss.
Yep.
Alright, so we're going to go to sideboards now. See if we can bring those up. Alright, we got those up. So, from Sebastian's side, Sandminer's Rejection obviously doesn't come in. Surgical Extraction, I don't think you're trying to do that. I think the Corrupted Brutality is fine as a removal spell. The Snapcaster is fine as a just card to bring back removal spells. Spellcrawler probably comes in, and Supreme Verdict probably comes in. Maybe Gideon, but
yeah,
no,
most of his sideboard is at least good here. Like, at least half the cards you could board in. I don't know if he actually is going to be boarding them all in.
Feels like
Probably wants to board out Zealous Persecution.
I'm not for sure. Like, Zealous Persecution has a lot of play here, but
So it kills dorks and it kills like Pia tokens.
kills dorks, kills PO tokens, and it stops the infinite combo damage.
Okay, that's true.
But I mean, it certainly is one of the cards that could get cut. I imagine Spellpierce is going to get cut, and then maybe just some random flex cards get cut, and it depends on how much you really want to bring in. And then from Mikey's side, he has Path to Exile, which might get brought in. Surgicals, maybe. Qasali Proud Mage doesn't get brought in. Sterling Silence doesn't get brought in. Eidolon doesn't get brought in. Kitchen Finks probably gets brought in.
Magus of the Moon seems pretty good here.
Magus feels fine. Rex Sage feels bad. Linvala feels bad. Dusk feels bad. Cataclysmic Gearhole, probably not what you're looking for.
Is that Sigarda Host of Herons is the card we can't see?
Sigarda, there are
Sigarda's
two cards
definitely
we
good.
can't see, and they're Sigarda and Host of Herons and Thragtusk, and I imagine those cards get brought in, because they're nuts. I could certainly see, even though you bring in these cards, I could see cutting down your Eldritch Revolution, because playing against the blue deck, Eldritch Revolution feels a bit medium. Kiki-Jiki feels like maybe a card you can cut. I don't think you need that infinite combo in your deck. I think you can just play the value game just fine.
Yep.
And then just trim on random cards that may be suboptimal.
I think the matchup probably gets a little better for Mikey post board, just because he has now a better value plan,
Yeah.
which is I mean, Sebastian boarding in hate for the or more interaction for the combo doesn't really help against the value plan.
That is one of the things that a combo deck like this does gain, is that your opponent has to play around two different things, being in the just ability for them to lose at any one point, but also have to worry about falling behind in just the board control race. And it looks like Sebastian has 2 Supreme Verdicts in his hand, so I don't think he's worried about the board control.
Starting off with Thoughtseize.
Which gives us full information somewhat. So we see a Felidar Guardian, Eidolon of the Rhetoric, a Renegade Rallier, and a Lotus Cobra with 3 lands, all of which are fetch lands.
How good is Eidolon of Rhetoric to bring in here?
I don't like it personally.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it does that much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad.
It's not bad, but
it's not terrible to have in play, but it's
it
it's
feels
not
suboptimal.
like a relevant body.
Yeah.
It doesn't really value anyone out.
So he's taking the
Rallier.
Renegade Rallier. That's fine.
Yeah.
It kind of prevents Mikey from just going full ham with the Lotus Cobra. And aside from that, Mikey doesn't really have a really payoff in his hand. His hand does a lot, but not really.
Yeah, I guess put 2 1/4s into play at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a nice way to apply pressure.
And we're seeing a main phase up, so have to wonder if Sebastian's just trying to dig for more lands, or what he's trying to dig for here.
Don't know how many lands he has in his hand, but given like the 2 Supreme Verdicts, he's definitely going to be on the lookout for this.
I think that he may be out of lands. I'm not for
That's
sure.
not great.
No, I definitely see another land. Never mind.
Okay.
I was just completely wrong.
Yeah, it looks
In
like
every
a
way.
swamp.
So, I got a Lotus Cobra.
He's going to need to find the second white source.
He's gonna need to find the second white source, but at the same time, he has time. Like,
Yeah.
he's not really doing much. Dark Slick Shores, pass.
That was a colorless land, it looks like, that Mike might have picked up.
Yeah.
Quite naked out.
Alright, so he's making a mana. And right now he's thinking about what color to get.
He's making a white mana.
So I have to imagine we're going to see some of the cards in his hand get some play, and it looks like he's throwing down that Eidolon. Which does mean that he is done for the turn.
Alright. Not that impactful, but Sebastian not casting anything and stuff.
It looks like he has a Water Grave in hand, which means he's not going to miss a land drop, but he's also not going to be casting that Supreme Verdict this turn, which is fine. He doesn't need to. He's not under the gun very hard.
There isn't. In fact, I think it would be a mistake to cast Supreme Verdict right now.
Yeah.
If
I think he
had
can
the
certainly get more value out of it.
Yeah. Even with the second.
Yeah. I do think, though, next turn, if he has the additional white source, I would just go and fire it off just because you have a second one.
Yeah, once you have the 3-for-1. Even if the 3 cards are not great.
Alright, and now we're going to see what Mikey does with his one spell this turn.
Sebastian holding up Path to Exile at the moment, which I don't imagine he'll be casting. Unless Mikey puts some sort of, like a Hunt Master or something into play that Sebastian can't necessarily wrath away.
Yeah.
If that Sebastian needs to draw the... Oh, he has the white source.
He has the
Yeah.
You see that in play?
I do see that.
Plains.
That was the Plains. Did I see it in his hand and think it was a swamp? Or does
No,
he have a
he
swamp
drew,
in his
drew
hand?
that off the top.
Okay. So I thought I saw a swamp and it wasn't.
No.
Alright.
It is totally fine to mistake that, though. That artwork is super plain.
It is dark, I think, is the relevant detail here.
Dark, but it's not the funny detail.
Was that funny?
It was funny to me. I enjoyed it. I laughed.
Okay.
Not out loud. I laughed in the inside.
All right, yeah. Yeah, you laughing on the inside is definitely what we're going for with this stream.
The stream just all an elaborate excuse to make me laugh
On the inside.
on the inside. Not even enough to make me laugh on the outside. Just a little chuckle, here and there.
So this is Sebastian's turn.
Yep. So he's thinking about what to do, and I feel like at this point, just fire it off. Just draft that board.
If he didn't have the second, he probably wouldn't fire it off.
Yeah.
But with the second, it seems totally fine.
Yeah, get that 3 for 1 in. Mikey's got 4 cards in hand. I can't tell. Yeah,
4,
5.
yep.
You know that
It looks like
4 or
4.
5. Okay. Fires up that Supreme Verdict. Rats Mikey's board. Probably plays that Water Grave in his hand tapped here, or untapped to cast that Thought Scour, and then.
Or maybe he holds it for no reason, like last time.
Correct.
I mean, it wouldn't be correct,
No, it would not be.
but he could do it.
I can't really tell what he picked up here. Plays a Scavenging
Scoo's
Ooze.
pretty good.
Pretty good card here. And Sebastian just milling 2 lands. Nothing too exciting here.
Nope. So is Scoo's the kind of thing that you go ahead and use a removal spell on, or do you just wait a turn or two?
Like, it's not pressuring you super quick. It's something you don't want to leave on the board for too long, though. It makes your Delve spells awkward, makes your Snapcasters awkward.
Yeah. Like
One
he's gonna get 2 activations here.
Yeah, one thing from Mikey's side is I think that when Sebastian casts that Thought Scour, he should have gone ahead and cracked that fetch land. Because now if he wants to use the Scavenging Ooze on instep, Sebastian can respond to the land being fetched.
Then go ahead and delve away just about everything relevant, and then Mikey's gonna get everything else relevant.
Yep. Is that a path in Sebastian's hand?
Yes, he's had it for a while.
I'm almost surprised not to see him just path that Scavenging Ooze in response to the activation. But I suppose that he does have to fear if he paths Mikey, Mikey will have 6 mana next turn, which means he could theoretically just win the game through the Faladar Guardian singular ride combo. So that is going back to that one thing where he does have to play around not just the fair game, but the combo game.
Tasker is getting passed, though.
Okay. That's fine. It hurts a little bit for Sebastian, for sure.
Definitely.
I have to imagine he's going to fire off an activation here. And he's choosing...
Not leaving up white mana is probably a mistake.
Yeah, I don't like not leaving up white mana when you have Path to Exile.
Because he'd probably like to... is that an Overgrown Tomb? Or is that a Catacombs? I don't remember if it's been tapped for mana yet.
Which, are you talking about the land that's untapped on Mikey's
The
side?
Masterpiece, yeah.
That's a filter land, actually.
That's a filter land, okay.
I thought it was a fetch land to begin with.
So...
What is it? Firelit Thicket.
Interesting.
Caleb thinks everything is interesting. It's his specialty.
I mean, it's kind of an interesting land. It's not a great land for a 4-color deck.
He wants to, it's that way he can cast his Kiki-Jiki.
Okay, that makes sense. See, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Sure.
Alright.
Alright.
Yeah, I would expect Sebastian would be pathing the Scavenging Ooze if he left white mana up.
Yeah. Like, I don't really, if you don't have the Fatal Push, why leave up the white mana?
Yeah.
I mean, why leave up the black mana?
That's not relevant.
Nope, just draw some card. Okay, he does have the push.
Oh, okay, that'll make sense.
Then. We figured out, we found the
that
line.
Is actually just correct. Good job.
So... Firing off that Lingering Souls. Firing off that Lingering Souls twice. So he has 4 Flying Spirits.
He gets start applying pressure, and if at any point the board gets unfavorable for him, which is not necessarily going to happen very quickly, he still has a backup Wrath.
The Magus of the Moon, though, might just force removal spell from Sebastian's side. If he chooses to cast it. And it looks like he is choosing not to cast it, and instead casting an Eldritch Evolution, sacrificing this.
Imagine getting a Sigarda.
Sigarda costs 5 mana.
That's true.
So,
So, Huntmaster.
Huntmaster or PN Kieran is what I would have to assume.
Yeah, P is probably better.
Yeah.
Although still, Lingering Souls is just better than Pia.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, there's also a possibility he doesn't get a 4-drop. He could be going for like a 3-drop. He could be getting a Kitchen Finks, an Eternal Witness, Renegade Rallier.
Rallier, get back Skoos.
Yep.
Surprised to see he did not
So
tap the Firelit Thicket.
yeah, because
To
since
have a green floating.
since he didn't tap that, he cannot activate his Scavenging Ooze, and there's really no reason to leave that land up.
Yeah.
That's just one activation of Scavenging Ooze just missed for no apparent reason.
Yep. Could have been a 3-3.
Could have been a 3/3. Could have also prevented a Snapcaster from doing Snapcaster things.
Well, Sebastian's not realistically going to cast a Snapcaster into a floating green mana.
Yeah, but he can cast it now. Is the
Well,
thing.
he would have been able to cast it because the green mana was going away anyway.
Yeah. Well, just
So see,
no.
Mike,
If he had a Temple Guard up right now, he could activate it.
that's true.
So like
Yes.
Sebastian would be shut off of casting that Snapcaster Mage unless Mikey activates Scavenging Ooze on it.
Yes.
But now Sebastian has the opportunity to cast Snapcaster Mage, even though I don't think he has it at this point. And that attack from him signifies to me that he might either be thinking about using Path Exile when the creature is on board, or using Supreme Verdict just clear things up. And he's just going to Path Exile.
Yeah, I would not want a Supreme Verdict here. He has a lot of pressure at this point.
Also, Sebastian has 2 Path Exiles. So that's neat.
That is neat.
And a Zealous Persecution. He is threatening lethal pretty soon.
So, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Mikey's on a 2-turn clock and doesn't know it.
Yep. The beauty of a Zealous Persecution. And if Sebastian draws a Snapcaster Mage, he just has lethal.
Yeah, Renegade Rallier was a little interesting. I
Like,
don't know if that was actually better than Pia.
it's definitely debatable. I like it. I feel like if you're gonna do it, you really need to hold that mana up. Like,
Yeah.
it's a very small point, but it's one of those things where it's like, if you're gonna make this play, you might as well
Actually
full
make the
value.
whole play.
Yeah. Alright, we're just gonna see another evolution.
That's pretty good.
I have
so
to
now we
imagine-
can get a Sigarda.
Yeah, this is probably gonna get Sigarda.
Which actually prevents Sebastian from having the lethal attack in 2 turns.
Correct.
Not to mention Sebastian's gonna have to block at some point.
Yeah, the... Oh...
Wait, what?
Yeah, is he just gonna go for the win?
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
He has a blue mana.
Sebastian has
But-
literally 5...
Yeah, he's got
like,
5 mana up and 3 cards.
He has 5 mana up and 3 cards.
This can't be right.
This feels questionable. Alright, yep. So... Sure. You're just gonna Path Exile that boy. Yep. Okay. So I
Kinda
like...
should have seen that coming.
I can see the argument of just wanting to end the game, but I think it's just too risky. Sebastian had 3 cards, a bunch of mana open, and like that Sigarda does a good job at handling those spirits, and it can't be removed by Path Exile or anything.
Yep. Yeah, Mikey could have had a good plan to win the game through a lot of cards Sebastian could have. Instead, he went for the greedy, let's win right now if he has nothing.
Like there's certainly an argument for it. I just personally don't like it. And it looks like he's looking at Magus the Moon,
Which at this point doesn't really do enough. I
a
mean,
Hollow Fountain, and I think he has Path Exile, which if he has Path Exile, he lives 1 more turn. But it doesn't really, like, living 1 more turn doesn't do that much for you.
yep. So much for that.
Alright.
Do you have any blocks?
Alright. So Zealous Persecution, pump his
So
team.
now he's gonna have to path a spirit to not die.
He's threatening lethal, and Mikey is forced into pathing a spirit to live, but he's still taking 6. Sebastian's getting a monk token, and
Mikey has no outs here.
Mikey's, yeah.
I mean, like Thragtusk. I guess he could like Thragtusk into Sigarda or something. That still probably wouldn't be enough.
Thragtusk, yeah, it buys him some time, but this is not a game that he's favored.
Yep.
And he agrees. So we're gonna go and pick him up and see a game 3 here.
All right. Seems like a pretty balanced matchup.
Certainly interesting. Not the decks you see often, but they have a lot of interesting interactions between each other. Zealous Persecution is a neat card. It looks like
Do you have Snapcaster Mage in the sideboard?
Looks like he did not bring in Spellcallers or Snapcaster Mages. I'm a little
Huh.
curious about that.
Interesting. Spellqueller is very good in this matchup, I would have to imagine.
Yeah, like Spellcaller is good. Snapcaster Mage just good value. Like, yeah, your opponent's running Scavenging Ooze, but oh wow.
Yeah. I would imagine they're both better than Zealous Persecution. Though Persecution's fine.
Persecution is fine, but I'd rather just like this matchup feels like it comes down a lot of times to just like trying to play the value game.
And
And
you still got both of them in this main deck.
yeah, I can see not bringing in Spellcaller, but not bringing in the additional Snapcaster Mage just feels incorrect to me. I also am not exactly an expert on Esper Mentor in Modern.
Is someone an expert on that?
I
Is that a deck that someone could be an expert on?
I don't think so. I really don't.
I don't
think so.
think you can be qualified as an expert in anything if the deck you've decided to be an expert in is Esper Mentor.
Savage. Correct. Like
Unless it's Legacy.
unless it's like a format that's eternal, in which case you're fine.
This is Eternal.
Unless it's a format that Brainstorm is legal in some number. And Sebastian's looking at a hand of 5 lands, Thoughtseize, Lingering Souls. He's going to ship it back, trying to
That's
find
not
something
great.
a little bit better. I agree with him there. You can do better with this deck, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a terrible hand as far as 5 landers go, but definitely a mulligan. And Mikey kept his 7, which has turn 1 birds, has some lands.
Turn 1 words, lands, probably some threats. About what he wants to be doing. Sebastian shrugs his shoulders. Looks like he has fetch land, discard spell. I can't make much out. I think that's that's a Jace, Friend's Prodigy.
There a path as well.
Yeah, it's a little hard to make out his hand completely. He's keeping a card on top though. Kept the Seer Visions on top, and curious to see if he's going to cast the discard spell first or cast the Seer Visions first.
I would guess you'd want to Serum Visions first. I guess it depends on what you're trying to draw.
If you're worried about what Mikey's casting on turn 3, you might want to cast on turn 2. What 3 drop he could be casting on turn?
Yeah,
3.
you don't like Knight that much.
No, you do not like Knight.
But
Alright.
Yeah, I guess given that your discard spell isn't a Thoughtseize, you can't take the Felidar Guardian if Mikey just goes turn 2 Saheeli Rai.
Yep.
So
So
this definitely makes sense.
Mikey has a hand of Eldritch Evolution, Voice of Resurgence. Believe that's 2 lands. Is that a 3rd land or what is that?
I think that's a 3rd land.
Is that the Expedition?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which almost. Oh yeah, it's probably still correct to take the evolution.
Yeah. The Evolution just has too much possible game.
Yeah. Like it's not that great when there's not a voice in Mikey's deck or in play, but or in his hand or in play, but it's definitely
has the highest upside.
yeah.
Possible upside. Now we're just gonna see is it Jace Twins Prodigy, Sebastian wanting to take this game a little long, play the Jace game, and Mikey drew a Huntmaster of the Fells.
It's pretty good here.
Yeah, turn 3 Huntmaster of the Fells feels pretty good in this matchup.
Gotta imagine Sebastian was gonna path it. It's the soonest possible opportunity, but
Still, he's still gonna get that wolf out of it. He's still generating value,
Yep.
and he's putting out his threats fast enough that it keeps Sebastian on his toes, and prevents him from making his board state go much further.
yeah, this is the kind of game where if Mikey keeps drawing good threats to put out, he's going to end up winning just because he is outpacing Sebastian. But I have to imagine he's going to start running out fairly soon.
I mean, I believe his hand is just lands at this point.
Yeah.
So he's living off the top of his deck. And if Sebastian's able to handle what's in play, then I have to imagine he's pretty favored to win.
He's got a Thought Seize, which isn't amazing at the moment.
Yeah, if he casts that Thoughtseize is just super bad at this point.
But he does not know that.
He does not. And
Yep,
no, he's firing out
Oh.
Serum Visions.
there you go.
And he does have the option. Yeah, he has the option of flipping the Jace this turn if he wants to.
Yeah, if he goes Path Loot, which
Path
probably
Loot.
makes sense.
But he's
He's
going to
gonna
choose to
loot
instead
right
keep
now.
it, so that way it doesn't get killed in combat, or at least is not threatened in combat.
Discarding the Thought Seize, which I don't know for sure if that was correct, but it certainly is a good thing he did that given Mikey's hand.
That phone, super close to dead.
That is unfortunate.
Actually, 1 second.
He did
Never
not
mind.
path the Huntmaster. I guess he can do it on end step.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
He does have the ability to do it.
Except voice
on
is in
instant.
play?
Oh, yeah. That's relevant.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now he's just taking 2 extra damage, and he's gonna get an elemental. Yeah, that is how Huntmaster works.
I suppose he does have the Supreme Verdict cleanup after all is said and done.
It's true. Yeah, I guess that's fine.
Yeah.
He's gonna get to flip his Jace, Supreme Verdict. Yeah, given the Supreme Verdict, this is all fine.
Yeah. Like, he's certainly, like, at a lower electoral than he would like to be, but at the same time, Mikey doesn't have much in the way of direct burn.
Yep.
Also,
Oh, there's some direct burn. Or did that only hit creatures?
that hits creatures and player. So
He can
Huntmaster,
target Jace, but that doesn't really help.
Yeah. Huntmaster deals 2 damage target creature and 2 damage to its controller. So I have to imagine that in response, Sebastian is either going to kill it or flip his Jace. Yep. Convenient.
Discarding Zealous Persecution.
Yep.
Does not look great here.
Card, not that great. And this
Yeah.
round.
Or in this matchup.
So he gets to rat the board, uptick on the elemental token, and feel pretty confident in his position to
Yeah.
not die.
Yeah, Mikey's probably feeling pretty good about this until this second.
The second, not great for him.
Yeah.
But he's not completely out of the game yet. Sebastian doesn't really have any threat in play. The
Jace is a threat.
Jace is a threat.
Jace
but
is a lot of value.
Jace is a lot of value, but it's not a threat. Also, voice token.
Voice token is relevant.
There we go. So we got the voice token. Gonna see an uptick on that, and gonna see a pass back to Mikey.
I mean, technically, Jace can also win the game at some point, but
That's one of the better draws he
this
could
is
have.
fine. Yeah.
Looks like
What did
he
just land.
lands
Or is
and
that the wall. All right.
yeah.
-2, -1.
Nope, it's not Liliana.
That is not a black card.
All right, so I guess we're just gonna see that wall hit the play,
Seems likely.
and I guess he's just hoping to draw something.
Eldritch Evolution would be pretty good.
Can he play the wall and cast it? No, he played Lantern already, so Eldritch Evolution would be pretty medium because he'd have to wait a turn.
Oh yeah, that card's in his hand. The Firelit Ticket.
All right, and he can't really attack for anything, so I guess we're gonna see a pass back.
He can attack for value, not damage, but definitely value.
Is that value?
Some people think it is.
Okay. I'll believe what you say.
That looks like another land. Yep, that swamp-looking plains.
Yep. Well, that plains you think looks like a swamp.
All right.
So Sebastian's just gonna Snapcaster, get back my Serum Visions. This is fine. He gets to
Getting
draw a
more
little
board
bit,
presence.
get some type of board presence, dig towards trying to end the game, because he does
Yeah.
need to end the game at some point.
Certainly.
Though he could just be banking on ultimating that Jace Friend's Prodigy. That emblem is not a joke.
Yep. I told you it was a threat. Looks like Sebastian is treating it as such. Because he doesn't have any others.
Yeah. And Mikey trying to go on the land destruction plan.
I mean, the Ghost Quarter isn't doing much for him.
It's not doing that much. It just feels weirdly timed.
Yeah.
That's
not a
fine.
lot of reason to... Well, I guess
I guess
prevents him from casting like a 3-mana spell right now. doing
Yeah.
it, or on Mikey's turn.
Yeah.
If he were so inclined. Or like a Snapcast or something.
Alright, so Mikey just passed him back. And I have to feel like the way this game's going, Sebastian's probably just going to pull this off on the back of his Jace Friend's Prodigy, and it looks like he's about to play a Mentor as well, and at that point, he's going to be getting some serious value.
Yeah. Yeah, there certainly is a combination of draws that gets Mikey out of this, but it doesn't seem likely.
It's a combination of draws, but Sebastian also has the ability to just close the door pretty quickly, actually.
Yeah, it's a -8 or -9. I think it's -9. Yeah.
Nice.
So we're a couple turns away from that.
I think he might actually have it quicker by just trying to make a bunch of monks and then using that Zealous Persecution to jam in for a lot.
That's true. Although he doesn't have that many spells to be making that many monks.
Now, he has the Fatal Push. He can next turn.
So
So
push the wall.
he can either attempt to continue the plan of trying to ultimate Jace, or he can use the Jace to cast a Fatal Push to push in a little bit more damage, make another monk.
He could also cast Zealous Persecution twice.
Can he?
If he casts it and flashes it back with Jace.
Does he have it in his hand?
Did-
It's in his graveyard right
Oh,
now.
it's in the graveyard. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Never mind. I thought you were talking about it being in his hand.
No. If that were the case, it would be really
That would,
strong.
yeah.
Oh, never mind.
He also has one in his hand. Okay.
That's
so I was
pretty
right, but I
good.
didn't know it.
Alright, so that's 4, 7, 10. That's pretty good.
Yep.
And he's threatening lethal next turn. And at this point, he can either choose to uptick to have the Jace as a good backup plan, or he can minus to try to cast like a discard spell.
I like the backup plan.
I like the backup plan more as well. Mikey just strong lands.
But playing it
And-
like a champ.
He's pretty out here.
Yeah.
The Zealous Persecution from Graveyard makes Sebastian's board more than lethal. And at this point, he's just gonna cast some spells, get some tokens, flashback Zealous Persecution, swing lethal, and easy game.
All right.
Alright, so now we're gonna have Alex versus Kirby. Alex being once again on Grishal Brand, and Kirby being on Clark Clan Ironworks.
Oh, grab my drink. I spilled
We're-
it.
Waking up a few of our players here.
Alright then. So, this matchup.
I
This
would think it favors Alex. I mean, their combos are about as consistent as each other, except Alex is a turn or two faster,
Yeah, this matchup is just a race.
and they don't have any interaction.
No, they're both just like, all right, let's try to win, and like post board, I feel like not Sebastian, Alex gets more interaction.
What specifically is he bringing in? I guess we'll see in a minute.
He has access to. He can bring in Pact of Negations if he wants to, but that's pretty medium. But he does
Yeah.
have the best card in his sideboard that I can think of off the top of my head is Bifrost.
It's fine, yeah.
That card feels pretty decent in this matchup.
Although a lot of the time, Kirby just has some eggs in play. He untaps, plays Clark Clan Ironworks, and goes off. And
Yeah.
Bifrost just does nothing
Yeah.
in that situation.
So yeah, like it's. I feel like it slightly favors Alex, but at the same time, it's also one of those things where they both are at the mercy of their decks being super inconsistent. So
Kirby has a better sideboard.
he has 2 Nihil Spell Bombs, 2 Collective Brutalities. And
That's pretty much it.
that's pretty much
but
it. Alex.
I think that's better than the Bifrost and Collective Brutality.
So the Chalice of the Void in Alex's sideboard is actually pretty real.
Yeah, that's good.
And aside from that, he has access to Bifrost and Pact Negation if he wants to go down that road.
Chalice is actually very good, though.
Oh no, Chalice is
yeah.
actually a really good card.
And Kirby is not likely to have any answer for it.
If he can play it on 1 or 0, and it's good both ways.
Yep. Better on 1.
Yeah.
And Alex even has the Simian Spirit Guide to power it out.
Yeah, he can power out the turn 1 Chalice of the Void on 1, and that puts Kirby in pretty dire straits right off the bat.
Yeah, I like Alex's spot here, both pre-board and post-board.
Yeah. So, see how this goes. I have to imagine this matchup will take less than 20 minutes, if we're being real here.
20 minutes is a little short.
It's a little short,
mean,
but
Just a game of normal, like, shuffling and thinking for a couple of minutes kind of just can take you longer than 20 minutes for two
Okay.
games, but
I also did not,
it's not going to be a long match.
yeah. I also did not count in the fact that both of their combos actually take a little bit of time to
That's fair.
go through. Also,
Especially
they are
Kirby's.
on their 3rd reroll.
That could eat it all up.
And it looks like Kirby ended up picking up the win on the die roll.
But probably not the rest.
That it goes a good little bit. It helps cushion the fact that his deck is just a little slower, because he does have 1 additional turn on.
Yep.
So
We're going to see a Fatal Push on turn 1, I would imagine. Not Fatal Push. I meant Faithless Loop.
just Fatal Push. Target nothing.
He can cast Fatal Push right now.
Can
Well,
he?
no. he
can-
could pay for it.
He can pay for it. Yes.
Kirby's hand. Not making it out. He certainly hopes to have a Clarkland Ironworks.
All right, and Alex just starting off on Faithless Looting.
Yep.
Probably discarding a Grizzlebrand and
And a Warbrickness? Or,
Okay. So it looks like he
Interesting.
got the Grizzlebrand in his hand because he has the 3 of the Breach. It's a bit of a slower plan here, but he might think that he has the time.
and he very well might. Kirby cracking his Chromatic Star to use his Ancient Stirrings.
And he is picking up the Mox Opal, which does open him up to the possibility of casting a KCI as soon as turn 3.
Which is very relevant.
It's very relevant, and it does pressure Alex to do something. And I think that right now Alex is planning on trying to just sit back for a second.
Eternal and non-rotating are synonyms for the purpose of Magic, I believe.
Oh, I thought you were like questioning a lot of the comment, but yeah. It's not potassium chloride. Just
Oh, I have no idea if it's potassium chloride or not.
well, and we're not talking about like does KCI. We're saying in this exact circumstance, Kirby is not playing potassium chloride. I don't think.
Well, no one can.
Can they?
It's not a card, it's a chemical.
Yeah, exactly.
or element, whatever those chemistry terms are.
Whatever those chemical chemistry terms are. Caleb, a man of many talents.
Well, yes, but not that one.
Definitely not that one. Alright, so after thinking about it for a bit, he picked up Scrap Trawler, and Alex just gonna go and fire off another Faithless Looting, see what he picks up. What?
Give me one of these.
Can you also get me one of those? Thank you, baby.
I mean,
Alright, so it looks like he picked up the Vengeance, but he's still holding the Grizzlebrand, unless I'm missing something from his hand.
still holding the Grizzlebrand. He pitched the wrong card. All right, that's not ideal.
All right, so Alex discarded the wrong card. He just looked at his hand, was like, all right, I have this Vengeance. What should I discard? And then he just looked at that Grizzlebrand for a bit and was like, I got it, Mountain.
I mean, he didn't need the mountain.
I hope Kirby wins now.
That would be justice, technically speaking.
He's not though.
I mean, he does not have the turn.
He does not have the turn 3 KCI,
Not have enough artifacts.
and Alex almost surely has the win next turn. I think. I'm not actually for certain. Because since he did not discard his Grizzlebrand, he's going to have to through the Reach in play, which means he's going to have to use some rituals and other spells. 1, 2. He has. He does have a mana monkey. So right now he has access to 4 mana.
Which is not quite enough to do much. Oh, he also has Desperate Ritual.
Yep. So he has 4 mana floating, 5 mana floating.
This is one of the less likely Gristlebrands to actually combo off because he needs to find like enough Nourishing Trolls and Mana Monkeys and
He's
and
gonna
such things
he's
to
gonna get to
actually-
see a good portion of his deck though.
True.
And at this point he's looking for, he can pick up 2 Simian Spirit Guides plus a Monomorphose to win. He can pick up, like, he has a lot of outs here, and he has a lot of draws, and he just picked up the Nourishing Troll, which means he can gain 15 life up to 19 and draw 14 more cards. Like, he's gonna see almost all of his deck.
Alright, probably got it.
Yeah. Yes, 3 Mana Monkeys and
Let's see.
Desperate. So he's
No Desperate Ritual or no Manamorphose.
Yeah.
How many Manamorphose does he have?
Cat Nobis. Thank you for the follow and thank you for getting there. Worth noting, he does have the Shoal, and he can just splice into Arcane the Ritual onto the Shoal, which gets him up to 5 mana. Or he gets spliced through the Breach into the Shoal.
Yep, that gets there.
Yeah. So if he draws in the Borbering Mouse, he just has it. Unless he misses it, in which case, I just die on the inside. That's all.
And he dies on Kirby's next turn, probably.
There's the Borbering Mouse. He has the win.
And Manamorphose.
And Monomorphose. He has the win in so many
Easy
ways.
win.
Easy win. Easy money.
Wait,
Excelsior.
there's money on the line?
There's no money on the line, actually.
He's so much more interesting.
Red 5 and...
Not bothering with the Manamorphose, just
Who
do the
cares?
breaching, or
Or whatever.
Okay.
Sure, man.
so he could cast. He's leaving his options open here.
He has so many options. Alright. He's gonna get Borbering Mouse back. Kirby just like, alright, show me the lands, and there's lands.
21.
So, easy first game there. Should have been over most likely 1 turn earlier, but oh well, didn't matter. So, we already talked about sideboards here. Probably gonna see those chalices from Alex.
And Nile Spellbomb and Collective Brutality from Kirby.
Yeah, that like
Probably boarding out Engineered Explosives.
Engineer Explosive's not great.
Maybe a Mind Stone.
Mind Stones could certainly see cutting, and I'm not really
Cut
sure.
Rogue of the Burn Willows, because it potentially gives the Crystal
No,
Brandon
don't.
extra
No.
activation. Okay, don't cut it. Just maybe be careful when you activate it.
Yeah. Then from Alex's side, that lightning axe just looks like garbage.
Like garbage in a lot of matchups.
It looks like garbage in so many matchups. Monomorphos is one of those cards that's honestly pretty easy cut a lot of the times. It allows you to win through Simian Spirit Guide into Monomorphos into Glorious Vengeance, but it's also just one of those cards that a lot of times is used as a cuttable card. You can cut down on one ritual if you want, but you do have to be mindful if you do that. I have to imagine he's probably just bringing in the chalices, because there's not that many cards that can be cut.
Yep. Yeah, Bifrost just doesn't interact with the combo often enough, and Pact of Negation, I mean, you can counter the combo, but then what are you doing after that? Because you're not countering Kirby's interaction. The reason Pact would be good is if you're countering a counter spell from your opponent.
Yeah. And so we're gonna be here for a little bit, just waiting for him to finish sideboarding. Kirby taking it nice and slow, thinking about what he's doing.
And doesn't have a lot of options here.
He
but
really
I guess,
doesn't.
like, I mean, he could cut the second Mind Stone. I mean, the fourth card he takes out is a little interesting.
Yeah. So, and we do see him grabbing 4 cards, so I have to imagine he did go for the Spell Bombs and the Brutalities. And I didn't see how many cards Alex grabbed out, but I think I saw him grab out 3, which means I think we also nailed what he brought out from his, what he brought in from his side as well.
Yep.
Kirby still thinking a little bit more.
Engineering Explosives is still in his main deck?
What did he board out? Or is he currently?
I have to imagine he has it. Like, so Engineer Explosives is another 0 mana artifact. So that's neat, but
yeah, but it doesn't do anything.
it does literally nothing aside from being a 0 mana artifact.
Like, I guess
And blow up
your
Chalice.
speed is important in this matchup.
Yeah.
Blowing up Chalice is actually very relevant if he's aware of Chalice, which that actually is a very important note.
Yeah.
But it looks like he's boarding it out, or at least boarding out 1 Engineered Explosives. Did not catch if there were both leaving the main deck.
Yeah. All right. So from this point, I think that this is still just going to favor Alex.
Yep.
Like, I feel like his deck is just slightly faster than Kirby's. Like,
Slightly better.
Yeah, the Spell Bomb can throw quite the wrench into Alex's plan, but he can certainly beat one piece of Graveyard Disruption.
Spell Bomb's nice because, if I'm not mistaken, it you sacrifice it. You have to pay a black to draw the card, so
Yes.
it's not just an egg, which
No.
is unfortunate.
No, it's not quite that good, but it still does replace itself, and it prevents Alex from just winning, which is, you just want to buy time in this matchup. And he also brought in the Ancient Grudge as a concession to being worried about the Chalice of the Void, I have to imagine.
I would think Engineer Explosives is better than Ancient Grudge for that purpose.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not for certain. I think I like.
Well, I guess it doesn't answer a Chalice on 0.
Doesn't answer Chalice on 0, and Chalice on 0 has the possibility of hitting your own things.
Yep.
So. And it looks like he has both Explosives and Ancient Grudge.
But no Chalice from Alex.
Yep. No Chalice.
Unless he has a turn 2.
That's fine, though. His hand looks pretty good, honestly. He has the Cathartic Reunion. He has Simian Spirit God. He has Summon Out Through the Breaches, play through Graveyard Interaction if Kirby draws into it. So I think that Alex is fine here.
Still needs to assemble a couple pieces, but
He needs to assemble a couple pieces, but Cathartic Reunion helps with that a lot.
sure does.
So.
Yeah, Cathartic Reunion was an absurd addition to Dredge when it was printed, but it's a pretty good filtering spell for a graveyard deck, or for decks that care about the graveyard at all.
That being said, so in Dredge, it doesn't hurt that much if your Cathartic Reunion gets countered. Like, it sucks, but you can win through it. If your Cathartic Reunion gets countered in this deck, it's really bad.
Yeah, really hurts.
and Kirby just picking up Wellspring, just taking his time to set up. If he finds that KCI, he has a pretty good chance of just winning on turn 4. I don't think he can win. I don't think he has the KCI. If he picks up the KCI, he can probably win next turn, but not guaranteed currently.
Pitching one of his Through the Breaches and
The Night's Whisper.
All right.
Okay. He picks up. Okay. So he can. I think he has a couple rituals. He can throw down the Worm next turn and just try to win with Worm Beats, which
It's a 2-turn clock
I think that
most of the time.
if he has nothing else to do, I think that's what he should do. But it looks like
Yeah.
Kirby's going to go ahead and take a peek at that hand if he draws into another Mana Source. And it looks like he did.
Yep.
And I believe Alex only has one Through the Breach in his hand, which is the
Imagine he
weakness.
pitches the Ancient Grudge here.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's just going to take that Through the Breach and leave Alex with a pretty awkward hand.
Yeah.
So I feel like
Yeah, Alex getting a little punished here for pitching the second Through the Breach.
I think it's defensible to pitch it, but at the same time, in the instance that Kirby does have any form of hand disruption, you do get punished pretty hard, and he's getting punished.
Did he
pretty
have the one Griff's
He relevantly drew.
or one reanimation spell in his hand,
He did not. I think he had
or
one.
did he draw both?
I believe he drew land, reanimation spell, and the worm.
Okay.
So there, he also didn't know that he was going to be trying to Through the Breach the worm when he pitched the other
That's
Through
true.
the Breach.
That's true.
So it's all kind of interesting.
Although he did know, I mean, that he would need to draw both large creature and reanimations, and another discard outlet
Yeah.
for the reanimation spells to matter.
That
Or
is true.
The single reanimation spell to matter.
All right, and doing a scry and probably just passing here. And Kirby realistically can just. He cannot pop his Inventor's Fair right now, but he can set up pretty well for when he does have the ability to search up his KCI.
Setting up explosives for some number? Or, okay. He is popping Inventor's Fair. So he can't cast the KCI yet.
He can cast it next turn if he draws another Mana Source.
Yes.
And if he does, his chances of winning are pretty high.
Damage is, you wouldn't immediately think the damage is necessarily that relevant, but it can often trim down on Alex's Gristlebrand activations.
So, Alex does have a Borborygmos in his hand, which can be used through the breach, but it's not really that
Yeah,
good
what does
at
that
it.
do?
Not much. It attacks for some damage.
Yeah,
It's not a good plan.
not really. And he already has the worm. Alright, so Kirby is a mana source away from just about the win.
Alright, so Alex did pick up a Through the Breach, which is a decent card at putting pressure on.
Okay.
And I'm actually...
Yeah, the drawing a card is gonna. The drawing a mana source is gonna matter a lot. Although Kirby does have the engineered explosives, so he can kill the worm tokens.
He does.
Which kind of makes the 15 damage not matter that much.
Yeah. There is also the possibility, I saw Alex put the Borborygmos to the front of his hand, this possibility that Alex throws on the Borborygmos and then kills the Scrap Trawler. So that way...
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
It doesn't put the pressure on Kirby, but
It takes some of the pressure off of him.
yeah. We'll see what he does.
Okay.
He opts for the interactive line.
Which feels fine here. Also, because he does have access to the Glorious Vengeance, he can threaten to hit again with his Borborygmos. And
That's true.
does Borborygmos have Trample?
Yeah.
Yes, he does. Okay, that's also relevant. Okay, Borborygmos being
Given
a
that it has
7/6
trample, I wouldn't imagine you really want to block.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess. What does blocking save you from? Doesn't save you from a worm hit. Doesn't.
And Alex just choosing to not do not discard any lands.
Well, yeah, he has plenty of time to do that because he has potentially 2 more uses of Gristlebrand, or at least does Glorious Vengeance exile it afterwards?
Glorious Vengeance exiles it.
Okay, so he only has 1, but that's enough to use it.
Alright.
But
Does Kirby win?
Kirby did find the mana source.
He's
so...
gonna draw 2 cards. He's going to have 2, 4, 6, 5, 7. He's gonna have 13 mana on board currently.
And he has another Scrap Crawler in hand, I believe.
If he has another Scrap Trawler in hand, that's pretty good.
Or was not sure that was. He definitely has an Ancient Stirrings.
Yep. Alright. So we're gonna see him go off for a little bit and attempt to pull out the win. His chances are not bad, all facts considered.
There's Scrap Crawler.
Alright, and
Alex is not even interested in seeing all that Scrap Crawler can do. I mean, Kirby could still fizzle with Scrap Crawler.
He could fizzle, but looking at his board state, his chances of fizzling are pretty low.
Yeah.
And for the sake of, playing out the match to its resolution, just conceding.
We have 30 minutes and 1 game to play. I think that they both know we're going to finish the match.
For the sake of having a nice flow to the game and not having us just like rainbow while we're like, yeah, no, he's doing some artifacts, got some mana.
Yeah. Alex taking a tiny bit of percentage for the sake of the stream.
Yeah. Like, if you were playing a tournament, you probably play that, but realistically, like, at that point, when KCI is going like it is, the chances of it fizzling are pretty low.
So, no sideboard changes for the 3rd game, looks like. Chalice's Void is pretty much as good on the play as it is on the draw, if not better.
Yeah. So, get to see if this game goes a little bit differently for them. Kirby didn't really have any interaction for Alex, and just won off the back of Alex just having slightly too slow a hand and Kirby having the ability to just pull off the combo when he did. Because I believe he was dead next turn.
Well, was... okay, yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about the slightly awkward Faithless Looting discard from the last game that Alex was able to recover from, so
nope,
he was not punished for that one, but he did end up taking up a loss in the game he did not play incorrectly.
Alright, and
Alright,
Kirby has the Nihil Spellbomb, but Alex has the check for it. And he correctly plays on 1, which means Kirby is able to play the Mox Opal in his hand, but he is not able to do anything with the 1-drop artifacts that are in a good portion of his deck.
Yeah, all the a lot of the eggs and the Nihil Spellbomb get hit by this Chalice, which is going to make it a lot harder to go off and give him less interaction.
Yep. And it looks like Alex is sitting there with 2 rituals and Through the Breach Worm is his plan.
Alex kept the Chalice hand, and he's hoping for the top deck to make the hand a little more than that.
Alright, so this is going to be a weird game.
Yeah.
And Kirby also has a 1-land hand.
All right. Which is a little worse in front of a Chalice.
Oh my god. What is this game?
Wait, what's that card you just put in his graveyard?
A sphere.
Weird. So he... Oh, was that a discard to hand size?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. So we're on, like, turn 3. What the hell?
Okay. Yeah, man. Alright. Alex picks up a swamp. Okay, so if Alex picks up 1 more land, he can Through the Breach the Worm, and that should make quick game out of this.
If he has a Gorya's Vengeance and Legendary and Gristlebrand, then he could discard Gristlebrand to hand size.
He could. That's a neat thing he can do.
Yeah.
But it looks like Kirby's just gonna go ahead and fire off the discard spell.
Alright. I wonder if he has any cards he feels like pitching. Yeah. Just dressing. that is the
What's
card.
on the he kept lightning axe in?
What in the world? Well, it hit Scrap Trawler,
That's not.
but
That's not a valid thing you just said with your mouth.
it does hit Scrap Trawler. That is valid. I don't know if it's correct to keep it in. In
It's
fact,
not.
I don't think it is.
I can tell you many ways why it's incorrect.
Okay.
It's bad. That's it. That's all the ways.
I
You
mean,
did
that
it.
sounded like one way to me, but I could be wrong.
It's like every way though. Every way leads back to the one way, the one true way. Alex has found the way.
All
and
right.
It's incorrect.
I think you're mixing your metaphors here a bit, but it's fine.
That's fine. Also,
We're
could
hitting
we,
our land drops now.
could we didn't float mana before cracking that Mind Stone?
You can't float mana with.
No, like with the Mox Opal.
Wait, what?
He cannot tap the Mox Opal anymore. He no longer has Metalcraft because he sacrificed the Mind Stone.
Okay. I mean, so yeah, that makes it so he can't cast the Ironworks. Okay.
Yep.
That was the kind of mistake you make when you're not super familiar with the deck.
Yep.
So I mean, he wasn't likely to win this turn anyway, but it certainly would be the most mana efficient play.
All right, now he's just gonna dress again.
Whoa!
Savvy, go get him.
Just use the mic.
is
Yeah.
okay.
Mike, no Metalcraft.
No Metalcraft, Kirby.
Okay, so they're taking that back.
I mean, he still has the mana.
Okay, so he has it. We found the line.
All right.
And Alex just kind of clunking out here. And I have to imagine that Kirby can get there from here. Like,
I mean, an Ironworks doesn't necessarily get there with the two chalices in play, but
it doesn't, but he has all the time in the world.
he really
Like,
does. How many draws is Alex away from doing something?
A lot.
What does he need?
He needs many things.
Okay.
He currently, like, no one draw gets him anywhere. Cathartic Reunion could possibly get him somewhere. He has one ritual in hand. It's like, one, two, three, four. No, never mind. I forgot that he doesn't have to do the breach anymore.
So Kirby does not have the one with case, or cannot start going off yet.
Alex drew into a Simian Spirit Guide, so if Alex draws into a through the breach, he can do something.
All right.
And
Wellspring's pretty decent here.
like Kirby has a lot of resources right now.
He has the Scrap Trawler, so he can play both of those. Start drawing a bunch of cards, making a bunch of mana.
Yep.
He's going to tutor for something.
All right, so I have to imagine he's getting the other
Explosives?
Scrap Trawler here.
You can also get explosives, kill the two, kill the two chalices.
Oh yeah,
That seems good.
he's gonna have to jump through some hoops to do it though.
I mean, he just cracks, well, he has to cast it for 2? Wait, how does he?
He's not gonna be able to. No, he cast it for 2 colorless.
Yeah, he casts it for 2 colas, so it's no sunburst, but gets to the chalices.
Yeah, okay, that is
Okay.
correct.
But he's still waiting a turn. So giving Alex a chance to
No, he's not.
do something. Is he not waiting a turn?
I'm pretty sure when you get out the mana, you're not waiting a turn. I know, I'm a Storm player.
That's true.
It's like one of these players, only like I don't take an hour to win. All right,
Yeah, he's definitely not waiting.
no, he's
Oh, wait. So X equals 2, no sunburst, but if he crack, he hopefully sacrifices his things. Good thing. Yeah, he sacrifices his tokens first before cracking his explosives.
So randomly, if he doesn't win this turn, he might give Alex a chance of winning, though. Because Alex does have a Faithless Looting that's just kind of awkwardly in his hand right now.
Yep.
I mean, I have to imagine that Kirby has a good chance of winning here, especially now that the chalices are gone. I swear
Lightning
to God,
Axe doing work.
I swear to God, if this Lightning Axe wins him the game. Did he miss his trigger on Scrap Trawler dying?
Yep.
Oof.
Oof, ow, my triggers.
Did he play a land this turn? I mean, he just played a land this turn.
No,
but-
he didn't play land.
Okay. He had 5. I guess the turns were just going by so fast since no one was doing anything.
Yeah. This is when I wish, like, we had, like, just some soft jazz music. Like, just some soft, relaxing jazz music while Kirby's just, you know, like, just flipping around, just going, look at my artifacts. Oh, look, I picked up another Scrap Trawler. But, oh, he put it, oh, look at you go. I missed that. Harley being observant, unlike me.
Harley knows his way around the artifacts.
Yeah, I hear he's cast an artifact or two. Alright, 2 mana floating. I don't think that he has the greatest chance of winning this turn.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot going on at this point. So he
He has a lot of draws, but
has a 0 mana draw 2. And then he nets 2 off of Hangerback.
like, so at this point, he's
Okay.
is he gonna use the spell bomb
So
to?
I
gain
guess he
mana?
doesn't think he's gonna win this turn, and he's
Yep, he's just gonna choose to.
okay. Yeah, he could have kept going, but it didn't look like he was gonna get anywhere.
Alex's hand literally just all mana now.
So the spell bomb isn't likely to be relevant because Alex is out here through the breach.
Yep.
But Alex could like faithless looting into Gristlebrand and Goryo's Minutes, whatnot, and then
And
that spell bomb's relevant.
Yeah, and at which point Kirby just, as long as Kirby doesn't blink, he's not gonna lose to a single vengeance. 2 vengeance.
Pitch both Vengeance?
Hmm.
What? You've got all those cards that don't do anything. Why don't you like pitch one of those?
I'm not for sure. So, alright. So, I feel like there's been too many turns with these 2 combo decks for this game to still be going.
It's been a 10, 12 minute game?
Yeah, like, what's going on right now?
I think it's
It's past turn
turn
7.
10 or
Yeah.
something, because a lot of land drops were missed.
Yeah. Like, this game is showing off how both these decks can just be hella awkward. Because, boy.
That is accurate.
Alright, is Kirby gonna try to win?
Looks like he's going to fight through the Lightning Axe.
That's pretty good. Alright. Alex scooping up. At that point,
Alright.
Kirby probably wins. So. Okay, now we're going to the final match of Kirby switching over to Mono White Taxes and Harley staying on Rug Shift.
Rug Shift versus Taxes.
So,
Sounds interesting.
he called dibs. He was super excited. Which
Doesn't
side
matter,
is he on?
Right?
It
Or
matters.
does it? Oh, it does matter?
Elspeth.
When I was playing, I just sat on the side and no one ever called me on it.
Yeah,
So I don't know. Did it matter or did I just get lucky?
you got lucky.
Alright. Next time, tell me which side I'm on.
We have banners now to be like this banner. We have a banner method now.
Alright.
Alright. So, this has been an interesting night.
Really has. Interesting decks, some interesting games, some interesting plays from
You're not wrong there.
most players. showed us the variety of quality of plays that you can make in this format.
Here's a good play. Okay, now here's a bad one. I'm just really glad that that lightning axe didn't win him the game. I really am.
You would be glad about that, yes. So taxes versus shift.
Also, he discarded one of his. He took out one of his Rigmoses.
Why would you do that?
Kirby says he could hear you guys. Not clearly, but a teensy bit.
Is this on?
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
It was on? Okay.
I can hear you guys slightly. Oh, it's sorry because we have the mic on.
all right. We're some technical difficulties with my brain, but past that.
So we have a mic to connect directly to the players since they have headphones on. So that way, if they do anything dumb, like just tap a Mox Opal for mana when you can't, we can be like, hey, that you can't do that, you idiot. And when we yelled at them for tapping the Mox Opal, Caleb forgot to turn it off. And then Kirby was like, hey, I can hear you guys slightly. And we were like, that's weird.
Well, see, what actually happened is I turned it off and second guessed myself. I thought I hadn't turned it off, and then I turned it on. And then it was
And you
on
think
for a
that makes
while.
it better?
It doesn't make it better. It just makes it a little more interesting.
Okay, that's fair. Alright. So that's definitely not Harley. Unless he lost, like, one whole human being size.
Yeah, Harley.
Harley has skipped many days at the gym.
And stopped eating.
And stopped eating. Alright, now he's back.
All right, there's Harley. There's Fight Milk.
Alright.
Seen both these decks before. Not sure how they match up against each other. So
There are a lot of things in Sebastian's deck which can throw a wrench into Harley's plan.
certainly, Vile's good against the counter spells. The Arbiter's good against all the multiple search effects past just fetches that Shift plays.
And also worth noting, Harley only plays 2 Valakuts, which can become relevant with.
With Ghost Quarter.
Yep. And their sideboards both offer some amount of play here, but it's gonna be a lot of does Sebastian draw what he needs to, because Sebastian has a. Does Kirby draw what he needs to?
Okay.
Because there's a half of his deck that is good in this matchup, and there's a half that's just kind of garbage. Like, if you draw some Path to Exiles and some, like, Thraben Inspectors and Eldrazi Displacers, you're not going to have a great time.
Thought Natsu is also pretty good.
Oh yeah, Thought-Knot's not that bad.
Yeah, most of Harley's interaction here is counterspells. So if Kirby leads with the turn 1 Vile, the game's going to look a lot different than if he doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, though to be fair, that's basically how this deck always goes. If you have that turn 1 Vile, your deck's amazing.
Yeah.
Vile, even.
That's the opposite of amazing.
It's Vile for the opponent.
Okay.
The value you get off of it is just so high. I have apparently killed my fellow commentator. It's fine, though. It's fine. He finds my puns to be a bit taxing, and thinks I should shift off of using so many.
Yeah, you should shift off of that, yes, please.
Sorry to pull the rug out from underneath you.
Oh, God. This can't be good for coverage. This can't be a good technique for
Start the timer.
making things entertaining.
Actively losing viewers is my job.
If I was a
No,
viewer,
no.
you would have lost me.
That's there you go. You had to do there's 2. Okay. Alright. So did we see who's on play? Who's on draw?
We missed it as usual.
That's amazing.
Looks like Kirby took the first mulligan, so probably he's on the play.
Yeah. And that's really good for him.
Well, Harley did not mulligan, so I don't know.
So Harley.
Wait, mulligan is really good for Kirby? That's kind of what you said.
You are correct.
Yeah.
I meant to say being able to play is good for Kirby.
Yeah.
Not mulliganing, obviously. So I'm kind of curious. Like, I've seen this matchup with the rug from the rug shift, but I haven't seen it from from the just red green shift. I haven't seen it from the rug shift side of things.
I have to imagine it's a lot worse for Rogue Shift because you're like taking out Anger of the Gods and putting in Remand.
Also, you're just like making your deck. You don't have Primeval Titans.
Yeah, and you're slower.
You're slower, and like your counter spells are just kind of goofy in this matchup.
Just worse in every way.
Yeah. Also, 2 Valakut is pretty relevant when your opponent runs 4 Tectonic Edge and 4 Ghost Quarters.
About as worse as it could possibly be.
Yep.
It's particularly surgical afterboard. If you're forced in a fight.
Alright, so Kirby looking at... From what I can tell, the hand looks kind of awkward, but I also can't really make much out very clearly. I see a Leonin Arbiter, an Eldrazi Temple, a Tech Edge, and I can't make out the rest.
Is there no White Source? Or Vial?
I couldn't make any of those out. He does have a Thought Knot, it appears, though.
It's not terrible, but he's gonna need a White Source or Vial if he wants to do something.
There have been a lot of unintentional Thought Knot puns. And intentional ones.
Is that 2 temples in Kirby's hand?
Yep, that's 2 temples and a Thought Knot.
Thought Knot. This is not going to be a good day for Harley.
Yeah.
Oh god, I just made a pun.
Twice. You've done it twice, actually.
And that one was actually intentional. I did it intentionally without realizing that you're sitting right beside me. This is not good. I just lost a lot of face.
Not puns, in fact, everyone. It's the best. Alright, Harley probably going to fire for Remand here. Doesn't want to let that Thought Knot resolve for obvious reasons. It's a really efficient clock, and
the Thought Knot that's currently in Kirby's hand because he is assuming the Remand, or I guess Harley just said Remand.
He just hasn't even really. He's just like, nah, it's in my hand still. Kirby just had the sickest of reads, and he doesn't actually have one in his hand. He was just like, Thought Knot.
Imagine if you could cast Remand without having a target. You could just cycle it in a turn if you didn't cast it.
That'd be real good.
That would be gross.
Like, it would definitely be a lot better in the Storm deck.
It would just be a much better card in every deck.
In every deck, yes. Storm is just the one that immediately stands out.
Well, just holding up a turn 2 Remand, it stands out. Because whenever you don't cast it.
Okay.
But anyway.
Alright, 5 lands from Harley.
Well, I
Sure.
guess he got value?
Is that value?
Kind of.
I don't think it is. I think it's actually the opposite of value, because now if that dies, Harley gets value.
Well, no, Harley got value.
Oh, Harley got... Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Well, that's not what I said, but it's what I meant.
That's value. And he may have top decked a Cryptic Command,
Not terrible.
but no real way to be sure on that. And it looks like Kirby can't cast anything from his hand, so we might just see a double Tech Edge. Alright, so Kirby just went ahead and strip mine Harley twice, left him with 2 mana. And he fires off the Electrolyze, that way Kirby cannot get the attack in, because he doesn't want to trade his Thought Knot into that Snapcaster Mage. But that was a huge tempo swing from Kirby.
Yeah, he just got double wastelanded. That doesn't generally go well.
Yeah. He does have a Lightning Bolt now, so he can attempt to kill that Thought Knot, if he so does desire.
I'd imagine he would go for it if he gets the opportunity to block.
Okay.
Whoa.
That's a Thought Knot.
He's going to Lightning Bolt so he can't attack, and then the Thought Knot will whiff.
Like, so
Another Tech Edge.
Harley's making the Thought-Knots whiff, but it doesn't really matter because there's still 4/4s, and Harley's hand is just nothing. And he's gonna get Tech Edged again.
Yeah, this is not. This looks like Legacy Eldrazi versus some weird,
It
weird
looks like
blue Legacy deck.
It looks like a very bad Legacy Eldrazi hand. I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
Did they play Wasteland? Yeah, they do.
I mean it's not even that bad of a Legacy Eldrazi hand. Turn 2 Thought-Knot's fine.
Turn 2 Thought-Knot is fine. Alright, so does Harley have another way to deal with those Thought-Knots damage? Probably not. Is he? I have to imagine he's blocking one and taking the 4, or like there's also a good argument for just taking all of it, because like
Also got a Ghost Quarter. I mean, you're dead next turn anyway, and taking all of it gives you the chance. Taking all of it doesn't let you do anything, though. Well, I guess what taking all of it does is it lets you attack.
so taking all of it allows you to taking all of it allows you to use Cryptic Command to tap down his team and bounce Snapcaster Mage if you want to.
Okay,
But like
that could be relevant.
it also allows you to like I don't know try to kill Thought-Knot eventually.
Also
but,
lets you put Kirby to 18, so in 3 turns you can kill him. But
in 3 turns you can kill him.
not exactly top priority at the moment.
No, I think at this point you're not trying to you're not thinking about how do I kill my opponent. You're thinking of how do I prevent my opponent from killing me. The answer is probably you don't. And
The question is, how the hell do I not die? And the answer is Pipe Milk.
That's pretty good. So, if Kirby wins this game, it means he won a game where his entire hand is white cards, and all he's done is play lands and 2 Thought-Knots.
Well, the lands were relevantly.
Oh.
The land destruction spells.
No, the lands were relevant.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the lands weren't relevant, because they were about as relevant as you can get, but he still has only played lands in Thought-Knot at this point. And an Aether Vial on turn late.
Turn late. I think it actually might have been turn 8.
I hope it
Which
was.
is what late rhymes with, in case you didn't know.
Alright, so that was, speaking of 8, that was an 8-minute game. Exactly.
Sweet.
How does what work?
On the right side. On the right side.
Right side? Right, no, right side? 0,
Is
1?
that a worship?
Alright.
So what are the sideboards these people have?
Can you pull up the sideboard, Sebastian?
Is it not pronounced Sebastian?
Huh?
Okay.
Like he says mana.
Yeah, mana tilts me every time.
I say Sebastian because of Black Butler.
I had to stop watching Black Butler on episode 1 because I was wearing headphones and every time I would hear that would look over.
Alright, so we'll get back to that later, but
So Forge Tender, does that that
that comes
counters Anger of the Gods and
Lightning
burn spells, and but it doesn't interact with the combo guild, but that's fine.
in. No, it's fine though.
Mind Sensor's good. Mind Sensor's real good.
Yep.
It just hard counter escape shift basically.
And
Um,
aside from that, not much else is great. Your Path Exiles are pretty awful.
the definition of awful here.
And so and
Do you want to board out anything else?
like there's a couple cards in your deck that are pretty medium. Phyrexian Invoker, does it hit anything? No, it doesn't hit anything. It hits Engineered Explosives post board, which your opponent might
Okay.
bring in.
But I mean, it's not like you're boarding it out for anything. Like
No.
Gideon is the only other card you might board in,
Yeah.
and it's not exactly stellar.
No. From Harley's side, we see most likely Engineered Explosives coming in.
Yep.
Anger of the Gods probably coming in, and aside from that, is there anything else you can think of, Sebastian? Nope. All right. So
I mean, there could be an argument for like the Obstinate Baloths and Wormcoil engines just
Yeah.
to fight that ground game a little bit. But
bringing in the Wormcoil engine does
probably
actually
not great.
have some merit because there's no way that Kirby keeps in his Path Exiles.
That's true. And Wormcoil does hold down the ground in the absence of an Eldrazi Displacer.
Mm-hmm.
But given that he's not likely to be able to board out his displacers, boarding in creatures to make those boarding creatures against those doesn't seem great.
Yeah.
But it could be.
Right. So. Inflict the Wisp. And Blade Splicer. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Displacer still does things,
Yes.
but it gets better when you can also kill your opponent's creatures.
Or tap them. Yes.
Well, kill them for your purposes.
Kill them for your purposes, which are smoking. Were they tapped out? They have cards in the table. Then why did you do it? Okay, then you didn't do anything amazing. You flickered a Snapcaster Mage when your opponent's graveyard was counterspells and like some sorceries. I'm proud of you. Would you like a badge? Medal? Ha!
Nathaniel's currently trying his best to come up with a pun about this. And it's not coming to him.
Caleb
It's not coming to him.
Ca-
It's running out of time for it to be really, really quick-witted. All right. Looks like it's too late.
I can
15 seconds is not like, don't you dare open your mouth.
I concede. I can't beat that. I lose.
You sure do.
I'm sorry. I'm dead.
Yep.
Dead.
Yep.
Sorry for not having a snappy response.
All right. Harley gonna be on the play. Keeping his hand, it looks like. Kirby going to 6 again.
Taking the sideboards away. And go ahead and see how this goes.
Imagine that it won't go similarly to the last game as far as the play pattern, but it will probably go similarly to the last game as far as the result.
I hope that Kirby actually casts spells that are white this time instead of just going Cure My Thought Knots. That's it.
I mean, it was pretty good.
You thought we were going to do something different? Well, I thought not.
Yeah, you did get the pun in there, Nathaniel, but
No, I'm like great.
you already lost. Looks like a fine hand. He's got the Dahlia.
Yep.
He's gonna cast some white spells.
The turn 2 Thalia against this version of Shift specifically is really strong.
Certainly.
Though Harley does have a hand with double Lightning Bolt, I believe there's only white border cards in his deck.
And they will probably be pointed at the Thalia fairly quickly.
So we'll probably see a turn to Bolt the Thalia.
Or Lightning Strike the Thalia.
Mm-hmm.
Mind Sensor is great.
Mind Sensor, if Harley doesn't play around it, can really cause him some troubles. Also, how many basic lands is he on? Yeah. Let's pull that up. Alright, so he has 2 forests, 3 islands, and 1 mountain. So he has 6 basic lands. So he doesn't have terrible chances of hitting if he gets like the
Like
Ghost
Cracks
Quarter.
of Steve or
Yeah.
Ghost Quarters, yeah.
Yeah.
Or Search for Tomorrow.
And is that another even Mind Sensor? Yep. You have one
Second
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Mind
one.
Sensor.
And since
Harley played
Harley-
the tap land, so he did not get to use his mana very efficiently there.
that is correct.
But I would imagine he's going to be
So,
casting it now,
nope, he's suspending because
and not. Well, I guess he'll cast a Lightning Bolt in, so
he can take 2 damage pretty freely.
certainly.
And Kirby
I was
possibly
thinking about taking that 2 damage.
yeah.
Looks like he's not going to. All right.
So Kirby has the possible setup for a double Wasteland with the Aven Mind Sensor plus Ghost Quarter and Tech Edge play, but we know that Harley has another Lightning Bolt to disrupt that plan.
We'll see if he leaves it up.
I have to imagine he will.
Yeah.
And it does look like Harley missed a land relevantly. That's not.
They
There
cut it.
we go. Alright,
Kirby's frustrated that his opponent is not playing lands.
So flash on name mind sensor,
It's
untap.
letting him untap, so he can play. I mean, he can still respond to the shuffle effect, but
So
it's top 4. Well, now he could have.
all right, so
Bolting before combat damage didn't seem perfect, but I guess Kirby's holding up the second mind sensor.
and now is he going to cast that other mind sensor here? All right, yep, he's going to cast the other mind sensor.
And it's an upkeep, so Harley does not have the opportunity to draw another answer. Oh, he has the Snapcaster.
So
Pretty good.
if you're planning on doing the Aver mind sensor, almost like playing the Ghost Quarter as opposed to Tectonic Edge, because then in response to that, you could Ghost Quarter one of Harley's lands and try to get him that way. But instead, you miss possibly taking out one free land.
Yeah, the Tectonic Edge was confusing me there.
Yeah.
Like
It did.
not-
It definitely prevented. It made Harley not crack that Sakura Tribe Elder and instead, but I don't think that you gained that much by doing that. Honestly, like you gain so much more if you're able to just keep nuking his lands.
One of the mind sensors is Future Sight, the other is a Masterpiece.
Correct.
At least those are the two best versions. Not that random Amonkhet reprint.
That was an Amonkhet reprint.
Was it not?
No, the masterpiece.
No, but
I think at least it's not.
No,
but there was also a
but that's an
regular
Amonkhet
border.
reprint.
There was
It
also
was
the regular.
Yeah, but it was reprint in Amonkhet, so you can't say you can't.
It was the masterpiece series.
Yeah, but it's an from Amonkhet. Like it was reprinted in Amonkhet. It's an Amonkhet reprint. They're both Amonkhet reprints.
Can we ban users in real life?
Banning commentators seems a little harder, but I'm certainly willing to try.
That's fair. I probably deserve it.
Still not playing the Ghost Quarter.
Still not playing the Ghost Quarter. Is he going to plan on double tech edging, or is he going to try to progress his own board? Does he really have anything going on in his hand? It looks like he doesn't.
He has to revoke her, and that's
Revoker's not great.
Revoker is pretty medium. You can name Sakura Tribe Elder if it resolves, but
It's not going to.
Jack in response, fine, that's it.
Third mind sensor.
and at this point, he names a Sakura Tribe Elder off that. It prevents Harley from using any of his future Sakura Tribe Elders to get any additional lands, and he's going to pop one of his 2-tech edges to destroy the Steam Vents, which cuts Harley off of blue mana.
Harley is about a million miles away from ever casting Cryptic Command.
Yep. Million miles. Okay. And he did bring in the Baaloth here, which is pretty good in this state right now.
It seemed pretty good in the matchup generally. It's also good against Displacer because Displacer tapping it is not a great plan.
Yeah. So, Playwind Inspector, play it, crack the clue, I have to imagine.
It's looking good for Harley. And it's not even that Harley's that close to comboing off, it's just he's in a better spot than Kirby is right now. Just on board.
He's in a better spot, but I think Kirby can also just kind of like, he has time, and I think that he can continue to just hit Harley's lands, and then eventually overtake this board. Because like he's not in a huge rush.
Yeah, normally I think about the blue counterspell deck being favored in the long game, but the top of the deck could go either way in this type of game.
Yeah. And I do have to wonder, like, there have been so many turns where Kirby has just refused to play that Ghost Quarter, and I'm
even played Chapette Dunes before cracking the Horizon Canopy.
Okay. So Kirby went in for the double block. Harley had the 4th Lightning Bolt to match it. Okay. So Kirby now has Blade Splicer Thalia, which brick walls the 4/4 ground beater.
And he snapped off the double block because he didn't much care about either creature.
Yep. And at that point, like, it's pretty unlikely that Harley has the third lightning bolt.
Yep.
And now we just get into this position of both them just kind of looking at each other.
Yeah, and this is where cards. Kirby has a lot more good cards to draw than Harley does. Harley has a longer way to go.
Well,
To set up
Harley
something.
can't cast a good portion of his deck right
Yeah.
now. He can't.
He
His escape
has
shifts
to
are
draw
dead.
lands before he can cast his spells.
Yeah, like there's just so much right now, so many dead draws that Harley has, and so few dead draws that Kirby has. Well, at least truly dead draws Kirby has.
I mean, he could always draw a bunch more planes or whatever. But
Yeah, like aside from the obvious being, just drawing lands.
Yep.
At this point, the top of the deck is gonna be better for Kirby. And it looks like Harley picked up another land. Is he just gonna throw down another? Oh, he's gonna.
So he couldn't cast it, but I also don't know why he would have wanted to.
He was gonna. I think he was gonna use it as a way of fixing his mana.
I mean, yeah, that's what it does, but
Oh, that's
highly suboptimal.
That's
Ooh.
pretty good.
Yeah, I can't imagine Harley's coming back from this.
I mean, he has Anger of the Gods as a top deck.
True.
Anger of the Gods basically wins the game. So Kirby, I think Kirby in like 2 turn cycles can end this game, and Harley has the bolt for it. So
the bolt you called the fourth bolt was actually the third bolt, and this is the fourth bolt.
okay then.
Well, but that's pretty good.
4, 8, yeah. None of this is great. That's not great.
Nope.
Like
Harley's on 6 basics.
Harley's on 6 basics. At this point, Kirby.
Both of his islands are still in his deck, so
Yeah.
Ghost Square is actually it's just better for Harley would gladly sacrifice any of his lands for an island.
Yeah, I think at this point you want to hold it in case you draw into one of your mana denial things. And
Yep.
I don't know how I feel about cracking the dunes.
You get in with double twice.
Getting aggressive, which
Seems fun.
seems fine,
I
but
mean, it's not like Harley can really crack back.
Yeah.
It's just a reasonable time to make do 8 damage.
Alright, so Harley picking up his 5th land, and it looks like he's getting close to bouncing back into this.
Harley can now cast Scapeshift.
Alright,
Don't know if he wants to.
probably not.
Because now he's just 2 lands away from, not only from, he can cast some of his blue spells now, but he's 2 lands away from Scapeshifting for actual damage.
And it looks like Kirby picked up that super late Aether Vial that's never that good.
Still means your arbiters have flash.
Yeah, it means your Arbiters have Flash once you get to that point, but we're pretty far away from that point. And that remained actually countering the Aether Vial, because Kirby can't recast it with Athalia in play, and he doesn't really have any good attacks. So this is a game that I think that Harley might be able to scrape his way back into.
Definitely got a chance here.
Yeah. And Leonin Arbiter's not bad.
Can't imagine Harley's gonna fight over this.
Alright, so now we have to wonder how patient Kirby's going to be about this Leonin Arbiter, and it looks like the answer is pretty patient.
Well, Harley's just a land drop away from winning through a Leonin Arbiter.
Yeah.
Regardless. So,
Yeah, like, no, Harley's in really good shape to win this game. Now we're shuffling.
Yeah. Escape Shift does a lot of that.
Yeah, they're just like 99% shuffling. You just shuffle a lot, and that's it.
Kirby's deck doesn't do any shuffling.
Correct. It forces the
And
opponent to occasionally shuffle.
It tries to deny the opponent from shuffling, though.
Correct. Sometimes they shuffle the top 4 cards of the library into the rest of their library.
Does it do that, or does it put it on the bottom?
No. You still shuffle with Aver Mind since we're Ghost Quarter.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. Harley win here?
Probably.
He has 7 lands.
If
Skip shift.
can't find a basic mountain and
Oh.
do damage.
Does Ghost Quarter mess with this?
Yes, Ghost Quarter messes with this. Because,
It checks for each other.
Does
so,
Kirby know Ghost Quarter messes?
I believe so. So, as for anyone who might be listening, as an intervening if clause, which means it checks twice. When all the mountains in the battlefield, it'll check if there's 6 lands. If there's 6 lands, there'll be a trigger. And then there's a time to respond. You can respond, and then if you after you respond, there are not 6 mountains.
Harley doesn't have any more mountains?
It also says other, so he'd still take 3 if he gets quarter. Or we still get 3 damage.
Okay.
Wow. So Harley just was out of that game
So
like
for
multiple
anyone
turns ago.
who's curious, Harley's out of mountains. Just out of mountains. His deck
But it's not a prismatic element?
garbage. No. So he actually just straight couldn't win there. Kirby's going to use the intervening if clause on the Ghost Quarter to prevent on the with the Ghost Quarter against the Valaka. I mean to say. What? Okay then. So
So the deck only has 10 mountains, apparently.
the deck only has 10 mountains,
Or
which
9 or 10 or something.
yeah, which feels like you could run into this bomb if you're playing against land destruction deck.
Oh, yeah.
So we have 1 Cinderglade, 1 mountain. Okay, yeah, 10. 10 mountains. Yeah, that's neat. Alright, so, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the 6 matches we had of slightly off the beaten path modern decks. Hope you enjoyed our somewhat medium quality commentary.
Hey,
and hope
What are you saying? What are you saying?
I'm saying I'm pretty medium, you're great.
Okay,
So
okay, that's acceptable.
So, I hope that you guys will join us again next week at around the same time, 7:15, 7:30 EST. And always great having you guys in. And good night from the basement.
Get there.